just curled up day two, the 22nd or something like that, day two. I just curled up and watched the entire season one of American Horror Story. Now I'm on season two and I'm watching like an episode a night. And for some reason, returning to really old American Horror Story from 15 years ago was really, really edifying to my personality, my time off, my recreation, things I do when I'm not at work and all that stuff. It was really genuinely good. It was good to just focus on a television show, be involved, feel represented by Tate, and have dated girls that are a lot like Violet, and have parents that are kind of like, you know, the parents in Murder House and all this stuff, and have neighbors that are kind of like you know, Jessica Lang. And I don't know, and I love American Horror Story. It's like like it's a place I can go that's safe, even though it's such a edgy horror television show. If you get around the violence and the gore, it is kind of a strong family show. There's always some strong family on it every season. In season two, it's the people at the asylum, but it's still a family in a lot of ways. What was this now? Oh, Rabbit Gamer Q3, Rabbit Gamer YT. I am okay. Thank you.
I learned that lesson at fucking like 16, 18. Just being alive is like relearning the same lessons over and over. Kind of
Yeah,
sucks. Like I feel
yeah.
stupid. So I met Chud the Builder a month after my ex passed when I was LARPing as Fine and continuing my tranny O phase. Chud showed up looking buff, beautiful, with his chaser trait and mustache. It flattered me. It's kind of sad that he was the only man in my DMs talking like a normal person.
Dude, if you've ever been on Grinder, if you've ever been
I've
on
never been on
Grinder,
Grinder.
just if you download it for 5 seconds,
Nope.
it's just a goatsy immediately, just an open starfish immediately, or it's just phallic member, phallic member, phallic member. Hey, Tyler
Really?
Bada. It's just nobody wants to
I
have a
didn't know.
conversation. It's just hook up, hook up, hook up. It's really demoralizing, to be quite honest with you. But and this is a slight at men, I suppose. I guess that's what happens when you have a platform primarily of, you know, men. When you think about it, it's Grindr is for gay men. When you have a platform primarily of men, you're gonna get a lot of men who are men. Best way I can describe it. That's the best way I can describe it.
But he was. I don't know what dating apps do to people's social skills. Like it's not just a Grinder thing.
I think I'm going to bump my skills to fly max Vexors, and I will learn the BP for Vexor. And I will run drone Vexors in the mediums. Two of them, because they're fucking cheap. It'll run like 40 million every time I die, but you're way less likely to die. And like, I don't know, big teams will come and kill you, but most people will just stay away from two Vexors. I don't know. I think. I don't know. Yes, AI question. How much ISK on average is it in EVE Online to buy a PvP drone strong kitey Vexor? How much ISK on average for a cheap faction warfare one for running sites? $14 to $18. Yeah, that's like 40. That's what I said. I was like, it's 40 million. It's like, oh no, full PvP. It was 35 to 50. Huh? I had to work my way up. I guess the next step is Algoses. I've reached that level before. I should sell my LP and make out and buy Algoses. If I level a character in Mortal Online 2 in Haven, will I be able to go to Sarduka tomorrow, or do I have to wait until the patches come out? What? Reload. So I have to go to bed early today because I have to get up at like 5 a.m. It's going to be a very early night for me. I'm going to dope up. What time does the patch go live, do you think? How long do these patches take? Is it like 3 or 4 hours? Is it like 10 a.m. PST? When is it? Three to 4 hours. Oh no, I guess I don't. I don't. And I can't. I can only play for about 6 hours, but that's all right. That's a long time. I play on GeForce Now. Will that affect anything, do you think? Okay, never mind. I just do my normal day because I mean I won't be able to play until noon anyways. Oh, but I guess if I want to play the game and I want to start leveling, I should have a copy of Immortal downloaded, I guess. Okay. I love it. Yep. Do confirm every single time. Pretty good. I love FFXI, especially especially when it's running right with with the tune and all that. It looks so good. Oh, it didn't launch FPS1, I guess. It's weird. Maybe it changed it. Maybe I would prefer a thief sub. I don't know. She does so much damage with the Gauss or so the Na spell that or End spell, excuse me. I could just heal through all of this. It'd be fun to take 75 all the way up. I think 75 RDM is actually the best solo class, definitely. RDM Nin. Alright, I didn't get the Poison God that time, so now I've got a real Utsusemi. I can just tank him for a while with the Narrow. I love RDM, it's so fun. Yeah, I want it closer, I guess. Yeah, like I like being able to see the fight and what the goblin's doing. It looks so good. Okay, let's cure 3. Convert. Cure 4. Oh yeah, there is no wind, so like if there's no wind, I can turn the sound effects up. That's cool. No, this music's too repetitive.
Chud was funny. We talked about Pokemon and being losers. He talked a lot about being autistic, which caught me off guard. One of the sweetest things he said to me was about his fitness. He said, I'm kind of like you. I changed myself into the person I wanted to be. And the empathy in that from a chaser really floored me.
That, unironically, beautiful sentiment.
Oh, my headphones
Unironically, a beautiful
dying.
sentiment.
I'm used to hearing a defense of trans people in a more middling way. Like, they don't understand it, but they can tolerate it. Like,
you can do whatever you want.
If you want to destroy your body and be an ugly freak, that's your right.
Chud's analogy to fitness was positive and non-judgmental. It's closer to how I actually feel about being trans. I transitioned to make my life better, not just for aesthetics, a fetish, or whatever rage bait reason they thought of.
Gotta
this
switch
month
my headphones
to
and charge them.
BRB. When he hit me up, I asked if he bottomed. I don't know why he said this. Basically, like, he said,
I'm a top. I've never bottomed. I don't want to bottom. Like, I don't do any of that gay shit.
I don't know if it was like my fault. Because back then I was like, I don't like bottoms. And I mean, bottom chasers are a thing. Girl, I'm 6'2". Like, I feel like it was just me. Like, I'm so HSTS, bitch. Like, oh my god. Like, I'm only a bottom. Girl, you don't even know how to bottom. Not true. But yeah, I've topped some dudes. Especially now that we know we got pegged, it's like it was either cope or it was a lie. I feel like it was a lie because I feel like that's why he was looking for a train. But at the same time, like, there was a point in our hookup when my hands got too close to his ass and he like moved them away. So I'm like, if you wanted to bottom, why not let me finger in it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
You know what I'm saying?
well, let me put a finger in it. Come on. Look, the nail's broken off. Easy. Okay.
Back on track. No, we're not.
But I asked if he reciprocated, you know? And he said, I mean, I love going down on girls, so, like, I don't see why not. Okay, that's hot. Again, he acted like a normal person. He hit all my green flags, at least at the time, where it's like, he treated me like a normal girl, agreed to be seen with me in public, wasn't pushy about pictures. When he agreed to take me out,
I do want to state that this happens a lot with dating apps in general. It's my biggest issue with dating apps overall. It's you put your best traits on there and then hope someone grabs it. Now, here goes how you play dating apps on hard mode. If you think dating apps are too easy, put your worst traits on there and see if you still get somebody. When I was on dating apps, I would only put things that I was horrified at. I would immediately put, hey guys, I'm 4'8". I'm not 4'8". I have horrible I just say horrible things about me. Just everything bad you can say about a man, I put down there just to see if anybody would catch. And it worked very well, actually. They said, this can't be true. And I said, maybe it is. Come find out. It was just insane. It would work. It would work 9 times out of 10. It was amazing. I loved it so much. Maybe they just want to see if I was lying or seeing the chaoticness of it. But usually upon meeting me, they enjoy my presence, and that's usually what happened. But it's the beginning stages, the talking, the charisma, the treating the person like a person part. Man, when you get nothing but PP pictures and men just saying, "Whoa, look at that rag, this is crazy," and then you get one guy that's slightly human. Man, it is a game changer. Oh my goodness. Imagine you spend your entire life eating literal rat piss, and then one day you get a glass of water. Whoa! Might be the best drink you've ever had. It's the Denji effect. I don't know if you've seen Chainsaw Man, it's the Denji effect. I've had nothing my entire life, and then I finally want toast with jam. It's good. Toast with jam's amazing. Bada bing, bada boom.
he said, I don't give a what anyone thinks. My town hates me. They're always screenshotting my grinder, calling me gay and shit just because I'm autistic. I was like, damn, that sucks. It's just funny how he framed it in hindsight. Baby, like, they're doing that because you're, like, racist. Like, you go into places and say the N-word. Not because you're on grinder and autistic.
Because if so, baby, like, guilty.
And okay, like, I think I do want to talk about it, but I'm kind of sick of it, of the, like, R Trap's gay argument. I can tell when a dude's gay. I was fucking gay, dude. I know these dudes are not gay. I can clock it. And it's just annoying. Like, even in woke ways, people will try to be like, yeah, like, you're a woman, but, like, not really. Like, bro, all these dudes are, like, they're attracted to femininity. One dude, like, I'd be like, oh, I gotta take my estrogen or whatever. And they're like, that's so hot. They're straight and, like, attracted to the difference between me and them. Heterosexual, attracted to difference. It's like hyper feminine to them because it's like I started in the same place that they did. You know, whatever. Read me, whatever. I don't give a. You can call Chud gay. To me, I just call him trade. At least back in the day, it's like a man who will receive femboys, tranny on the DL, but doesn't reciprocate. But these days, it's kind of just like any straight dude, and he's a femboy, like he's down. I feel like that's a good word for that. I guess it's like ball culture or whatever. Sorry, they came up with a good word. You know, black people came up with trade. White people came up with gynosexual. Ew. Girl, he ain't trying to smash my gyno. I'm so sorry.
this she gives me the impression that she might not be cool with the newer gay people. I don't know what it is. She gives me the impression that she's not cool with the newness of the LGBTQ, but understands her journey very adequately. It's very interesting. I love when I encounter this. This is where a lot of friction happens within the journey of introspections, because, and this is a very deep aside, I feel as though with the LGBTQ, your journey, it is a part of community. Community is very important because you need community to believe in yourself and to actually have people that follow you and support you. But it is also a very deep journey of introspection. There are a sizable chunk of the LGBTQ that will change themselves, not like transition. I don't think people would. There are people that would transition just for the love of the game, but there aren't people in mass that would transition for the love of the game. There are people that will say, "Oh, well, I'm queer adjacent" or something like that, right? Just be a part of the LGBTQ as a form of retaliation against whatever upbringing they had. You would be absolutely shocked by the amount of people that are part of the LGBTQ that have family that are just wildly conservative, and they themselves have just 20 plus years of conservative backing that they have to unlearn, and they are learning a newness with it, and they are trying to find this journey themselves. I give a lot of people grace in the LGBTQ because I know a lot of them are unlearning a lot of just conservatism because of their family. I grasp it and I understand it. Sorry, I went on a little bit of a side there, but I felt like it was a good point. That's just keep going.
I don't know, like I've seen what happens when men come out as dating trans women. My ex, like whenever he posted pictures of us, I mean, he lost so many friends. It does suck. I don't think any straight man is fully secure in their sexuality enough to just be like, yeah, I'm a straight dude and I'm sure.
Yeah, to be quite honest with you, true. There's not a single straight man that is. There's not a single one that is.
Sure, there's some base dude like that, you know? But if they're woke, they have to be like, I'm queer. I'm like, no, you're not. I hear all these stories from these bisexual men who are like, I date women, I date trans women.
I tried to f a dude, but my heart's just not in it.
Me and this girl have had such similar experiences.
I just couldn't. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's like, because you're not gay. You're trying to take the trans women are men argument and you're trying to make it woke. And that's based. No, that's why the premise doesn't fit. I have never had a dude me and then he goes, fucks dudes. I guess Chud did that. I mean, I don't know. He apparently sent like nudes to Dwing's site. I have not looked into it. I just know he got pegged by a cis girl. Most of these men, they're attracted to femininity, but Chud's like the kind of dude who took it to like the extreme. Obviously, like he was a groiper. They think like feminism has ruined females. They all just act like fucking dudes now. Trans women and femboys, they're the only people who want to act feminine. He sent me these texts with his baby.
Oh my goodness, that's That's such a man. I knew about that, but that's so real though, because when you're a femboy, you are acting feminine. Trans women have to put on essentially an air of femininity in order to pass, even if they do feel women. And by the way, if you're a trans woman, you don't have to if you don't want to. It's your call. It's your introspective journey. But man, that's so real, man. She's smart. She's smart as hell. I ain't gonna hold you. Smart as hell. That's insane. Smart, insanely smart.
Baby mama, who was Latina, months later after a date. She said, go live happily ever after with a dude. Get him, girl. And then he said, back in the day, when women were made to be feminine, that's when society was the best and the least gay shit occurred. Every time women get out of hand, go back to the Roman days and dudes who are more femme than their fat girlfriends are. Women are so manly, dudes would rather fuck a femboy than come home to their GF. Just who act like dudes will call men gay for fucking femboys who are more feminine than they are. In quotes.
How dare you not want to come home, man with a pussy?
Sorry, babe, I'd rather fuck a girl with a dick than an N-word with a mid-P like yours.
What?
What an insane bar.
What?
It's not even unfortunately a bar. It's just evil. It's just purely
Just evil, full of
wildly evil.
Yep.
It's horrible. She's transphobic and just speaking out of hate, and then he's just messed up. They deserve each other. Well, holy moly, they deserve each other. Him and his baby mama deserve each other.
Just cry laughing emoji. My friend made a good point where she's like, yeah, bro, like you really owned your baby mama. I know it's like not base, like it's very misogynist. Just say you think it's hot, bro. Like, that's all. It doesn't have to be this whole thing. Women are not less feminine because of feminism. I'm so sorry. It has never been like, yeah, go work and become a man. Even since the 70s, it's like, you should be able to do what you want. So I revisited Laverne Cox drama because I was like, I don't want to get canceled. This is way worse than dating a MAGA cop. But I'm kind of convinced, like, unfortunately, maybe a white bitch needs to say this. Most of the men I've dated have been conservative. Most of the dudes, though, are not Chud the Builder. Like, they are normies about it. Him being vaguely Republican was not a red flag. There were some things that made me suspicious. He said he was
Got a Kiki Mora for 10 mil, and it's worth, I don't know, 30 something? Yeah. Let's bet on some Kikimoras. I like Kikimoras. Take a swing at a couple of Kikimoras here. I have so much faction warfare income that I'm like in the money and I could just gamble all day and buy boosters and, you know, BPOs and shit like this. I'm just going to keep making money.
But I always get in this argument with the one woke chaser I date. He is like, why are you always dating conservatives? I'm not trying to. This is just the men who I attract. A lot of it has to do with these men think about their masculinity as much as like trans women think about like femininity, and they're attracted to that contrast. And so you tend to attract these like patriarchs who are hyper masculine, and Chud is just the Groiber version of that. I mean, and also just like being, y'all can't see my tattoos in this video. Being an alt girl, you attract the cops. Being a tranny, you attract Republicans. So I just hit the start streaming button. Burzum hoodie to destroy any credibility I might have. Yes, I'm wearing a Burzum hoodie. No, y'all don't know who that is, but you'll Google it and then you're good. You can hate me. I wish I was that bad of a bitch, but I'm like, no, I'm not actually. Like, I'm pussy. I'm pussy. I've been putting this video off because I'm so scared. We met at a pizza place near my house. When he got out of the truck, it smelled like straight weed. He was taller than me. And when you're like a 6'2" tranny, it stands out. I could feel the intensity radiating off of him. He had a darkness to him as thick as the cloud of blunt smoke. When
What's so poetic and palpable.
It's like it's a cloud of
I
blood
love the
smoke.
poeticness. Thank you so much for painting a visual.
we were walking into the restaurant, he turned to me and said, like he'd almost forgotten.
You're very beautiful, by the way.
It was in this tone, like he was admitting it. I said, thank you. You're hot. and he dismissed it. At the restaurant, I clocked that he was only drinking bottled water. It kind of hit me.
Oops.
Oh.
Wait, what happened?
Mumbled about it being feminizing. And I guess he saw the look I made because he said, like, you can keep drinking it. Which, I mean, I thought that was really funny.
Fluoride is I'm sorry. What 7 layers of internet conspiracy separation did I miss? What hotep flat earth garbage did I miss about fluoride being feminizing? What? That's insane. What? I'm not gonna get into that. We're gonna keep going.
After that, I was kind of connecting the dots that, like, I think this dude is a groiper. That plus his intensity worried me enough to be second guessing my choice to invite him into my house. When we left, the hostess was glaring at me. She's just like staring at me with like shock. She just has to let me know that she has an opinion about me. I've been there a few times and I told him that, like I said, like, that bitch always gives me the fucking tranny stare. He thought that was funny. He was like, she's a fat bitch. In the moment, I'm not gonna say, like, it felt bad. I'm just so used to being bullied. I would never do that to someone else. And so just that people will do to me, and to have this big dude not stand up for me, but like be on my side, like, felt good. But I'm like, he just hates women. He's dating me because he hates women. I was talking earlier about like
What you know, that's so real. There's so many. I think everybody should watch this video in totality because there's so many wild things. I feel like this is just regular stuff for the average trans woman, but I feel like people don't listen to trans women enough. I feel like I'm a filter for a lot of people when it comes to a lot of issues about the LGBTQ, because a lot of people see me as, oh, you're so able to speak about these things. It reminds me of the way I feel about white men and white allies is they act as a filter for me to get through a lot of things that I can't do as a black man. Because there are things I can't do as a black man that I have to acknowledge, but it's as if I'm a filter somehow. It feels strange. It feels strange. Please go subscribe to this lovely woman and follow her. I feel as though she deserves it. This is outstanding work overall.
how woke people will be like,
I am theory crafting in my head a Mortal Online 2 character for tomorrow, and I know that I want to be, I think I want to be Ogmere race because they get a good self-heal, and I think I want to be an archer, and I think I want to be ecumenical, but is that even viable? I want to be a longbow archer, like ecumenical, high strength, probably lifesteal out. What is that one called? Is it no. No, I was thinking not Ogmere, but the other race. What's the race with lifesteal? My main is lifesteal, but I can't remember the name of it. So I want a Thursar lifesteal archer. Is that even viable? And I'll do all the mastery for it. What is considered to be the best race for solo survivability for Archer? Vila. No, my style is to split shot in a mob's face, so I need tanky but self-healing. And I thought maybe Ogmir with what's the they smoke a pipe for their HP, and then go ecumenical for self-heals right in the mob's face, basically. Inhale liquor, yeah. Yeah, so can you build one for me? And what books do I buy? In what order? What stats do I spend? What race? What weight? All that stuff. Build me a character guide for tomorrow for Sarduka. Oh, we captured. That's too loud. It's 5:30. You got dinner in about an hour and a half. Well, actually, I've got like an hour. So I'm just busy in Haven tomorrow, but that's fine. It's weird. There's like 600 people in the world that are going to play this game, and the computer knows more than any of them. It is funny. I don't know how. Well, it's the Google. The Google knows more than they do about their own game. Refresh. Okay, we are ready. Let's go to the fight. Or actually, I'm going to get a few more buffs. I love bind. Gives you such an advantage. Out of range? What do you mean? Damn it, you fucked up my thing. So tomorrow I just do Haven, but there'll be a lot of people there, which is kind of cool. This one was easy. Ooh, my nukes are starting to hurt. They're gonna hurt well. They're gonna like hurt really well because maybe I should run int, huh? I don't know. Dex, like all the decks I can get is really good. Like those things, they're not that good. Can I get something else? No. Even oh no, it has 22. Mind is not bad. Evasion might be better, but no, int. New moon is int, but yeah, it's like MP10. I mean, mana from the boots is not bad. And then these MP earrings. I could go spike earring. An optical earring as opposed to those MP earrings, but I mean 20 MP is good. Yeah, and that's all the rest of that stuff is good. I have a pair of leaping boots, which is what I should be wearing, but they're in use. Yeah, they're like in use. I haven't bought 2 sets of leaping boots, so one of them is in use with my hardcore character. Maybe I should just play Red Mage Hardcore. I don't know. Anyways, let's do the acceleration gate here. Accelerate. It's nice to have it in Ultra.
Yeah, like you're a woman, but well, the like non-woke thing is like he likes me because I'm not a woman, or because he doesn't see me as a woman. He thinks I don't have these hang-ups. He thinks that all males keep their like resentment towards like females, and I'm just like, I've never really had that. Like, I've always loved women. I've always been drawn to women because I'm a fucking girl. I took the selfies of us in the parking lot when he was asking me, are we going to your house? I was just like joking, brushing him off. Like I kept telling him, you kind of got that Ted Bundy stare. He said like, oh, come on. I basically decided like I couldn't get out of it now, and he was too hot. It's kind of sad that I gave up my morals for, but girl, what morals? I mean, not being racist. Now I'm done rambling about all my stupid shit. Here.
To be quite honest with you and fair, and this is just a thing, Chad the Builder isn't oppressively ugly. He's just racist. All right? And to a lot of people, right, racism is not a deal breaker. I've discovered this with a lot of people that I know. Racism is not really a deal breaker for a lot of people. And that's, you know, your preference. If racism is not a deal breaker, okay, it's fine by me. It's your call. You love who you want to love. If racism is not a deal breaker, c'est la vie, such is life, you know?
Here's the actual tea about my hookup with Chud the Builder. Also, just throwing this out there, like, I try not to kiss and tell, especially on the internet.
Which is exactly what you're doing.
I don't say names. I don't say names on the internet.
You did.
If anyone wants to hook up with me. But special exemption if he's on trial for murder or he died. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. Like low-key, it's like the People's Court. It was court ordered by T-Spill. Isn't that like a dead channel? Anyway, I invited him to my home. He was 15 minutes after me, texted me saying, I have to roll another blunt. When I was writing this and I got to this portion, I was like, I'm kind of just writing like Groiper Yowie. And so I'm just gonna like, I hate that word, but pretend it's like a spicy TikTok book you got at Barnes & Noble. No, they're out of business, right? At books where printed media
Barnes & Noble went out of
sold.
business.
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god.
But anyway, I just felt like corny, like writing this shit out. We ended up in my living room. I must have been showing him something because he was sitting in a chair near my computer. I think he grabbed my ass when I was walking by. I ended up straddled in his lap and we started making out. It was hot and we can feel our...
The voice got like 10 times more central. So what is this is... All right, let's keep pushing.
Touch. My eyes were closed as I felt his arms tighten around me and sneak.
This description of gay sex is slightly uncomfortable to me as I am straight, so I'm going to. Oh.
Instinctively, I clung to him while he stood up. He picked me up so effortlessly I felt weightless, a sensation I'd forgotten somewhere in childhood. He carried me over to the couch and laid me down. He was on top of me then, as we continued kissing, only stopping after he unbuttoned my pants. He wanted to walk.
It's a little gay.
Gestured for me to reciprocate. A lot on my face. for trans. I mean, he is kind of like clavicular in that way, you know? He's like male to male trans. And that's the thing. I mentioned 4chan and he called them like retarded incels or some which fair, like you clocked me, baby. But I grew up on 4chan. Like, I know why it has a bad.
See, I was right. See, like, it's just, I said in the beginning in my little side rant, it's just a very, very real thing. It's a very real thing. It's very real. It's very real. Just real.
I used to be disgusted like with the shit I saw on it in 2016, but not every board on 4chan was like that. In the 2000s, the culture was very edgy, but in like a left-wing fucking way, where they were like edgy atheists, which later, you know, got co-opted by the skeptics or whatever. It's like, I wouldn't say like 4chan was like progressive, and a lot of the hate that 4chan gets is from the politics board. I was on there when I was like 11, but I was a fucking loser on the Pokemon board. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was on the drawing boards. There was not crazy racist shit. Like, I remember the day they made the LGBT board. So I'm not defending 4chan or Grover's. I always thought like, oh, maybe he's like more on like that Andrew Tate kind of shit or whatever. Whenever clavicular popped off, like I was like, oh my god, that's what Dalton is. Whatever space between, that's where Chud the Builder is. Clavicular of Clarksville. Also, just clarifying, he stopped texting me after I sent him come down clips. So who's more based? Am I the asshole? Basically, I had to like realize like I can't deprogram this dude. And I would tell him like, no, we can't talk about politics. We just shouldn't talk about this, because it's like, you're not gonna change my mind. I'm not gonna convince you either, because a lot of that stuff, it's not.
That's how I feel about Begon. Like, I don't think I can fix Begon's fucking political entity. I think he's got to do that himself.
Logical. Like, it's not.
To be fair, yeah.
And we'll never see eye to eye. And he'd say the same thing about me. He'd say, I wish Skycat would fix his political outlook and stuff. And we would say the same thing about each other. It would be like, do we ever change? No. Do we ever respect the other side? No. So best not to talk on it. Best not to speak on it, honestly, I think. What? How many times did you just attack? God damn. It was like 7. You are a thief with a single dagger. Fuck you, goblin.
Yeah, I guess to a point where a lot of my guy friends will never talk shop with me about a lot of specific things, mostly because they know I do YouTube and they know that I talk about my life a lot, so they don't want to do that. But sometimes I'll hear their real opinion about something because I'll state something slightly adjacent to it. I'll give an example. This is the best way I can describe it. I had asked one of my friends. This is my favorite question to ask anybody. I had said, so would you sacrifice your pride and your morals to make sure your family is safe and financially secure?
Yep.
And he said, well, yeah, if my family's going to be safe, but what do you mean you sacrifice my pride and my morals? I was like, can I give you an example? He said, okay. He said, would you suck a phallic member for $1 billion? He said, no.
That number's so high, I would say yes. But, I mean, it'd have to be $1 billion. Any less? Probably not, honestly. That kind of money would actually change the world, so I would say yes. But it would have to be the kind of money that would change the world. Otherwise, no.
I said, not $1 billion? Really? He said, yeah, I wouldn't do that. I said, women do it for free.
I think $1 billion, I think I could change the world. So, I think I would.
He said, yeah, but I'm not a girl. And you'll hear stuff like that. It's very, very that.
I just get to thinking about maybe I could make sure there's no poverty in Denver, Colorado anymore. There's no poor people, no homeless with that kind of money. And I think, yeah, I'd probably do anything, yeah. Probably do anything. Probably kill a man or S&D or whatever. Whatever it would take, you know. Because we need change. I am not above making that soul sacrifice or whatever, but I would not want to do it.
Very that I don't have to be gay for money. Okay, cool. I guess you'll be
But it would need to be up there like $1 billion. I'm not doing it for 100 million. That won't change the world.
working the rest of your life. I suppose it's okay. It's whatever. It's just stuff like that. Stuff like that. It's a lot of sentiments in that.
Yep, even up to like 900 million, I'd probably still say no. It's got to be like $1 billion or higher, because it's just like something about that weird number. But I feel like I can probably set aside, you know, like 50 million for myself and spend the other $1 billion of it, essentially 950 million of it. I could fix the light rails. I could fix the clinics. I could fix the homeless situation. I could fix the jails. I could fix the roads. I could fix the people. I could put in mental health clinics every 6 blocks that give free service, the best in the world. I could do things for my city that no one else has ever done for their city before. And yeah, I would pay that ultimate cost or whatever, but it would have to be a lot. I'm not for sale. I would do it for the world. You'd have to offer me the world, you know? You'd have to offer me the world. And to me, $1 billion is the world. I could probably swing the world with that. So, yep. Have to be like $1 billion, though. Because it's like, I'm not trading my fucking weird sexual innocence or whatever. I've never touched a man, so it's like that. I'm not trading my sexual innocence for anything other than the world. Do you understand? The world would have to change, because my world would change.
Variety where I could get their political takes by asking very, I guess, Socratic method of
But even then, I would resist it. I'd be like, is there anything else? You know?
questioning. If you don't know what the Socratic method of questioning is, you know,
There's never going to be this like, yeah, I would do that. No, it'd be like, no, I guess I'll do it if it's for the world, yeah. But I mean, like, is there anything else you would have me do? Is there anything I could do instead of this? Because I would still resist it even then. I'd be like, no.
Jujutsu Kaisen, you know,
I don't
Toto,
like
when he
men.
asks what's your kind of women, and then you can get an answer by another answer if you figure it out. Because a lot of things factor in based on how you answer with one question. You can figure out how someone is. It's a big reason. The Socratic method of questioning is actually a big reason why a lot of people feel so confused by, I guess, the moral consistency fallacy. If you don't know what the moral consistency fallacy is, it's
I'd be like, no. But I mean, like, I don't know, $1 billion? That's a lot of money. That'd be like turning my back on my family, my country, my city, my nation if I said no. You understand? It has like weight. That much money has so much weight that you'd be an asshole to say no. You'd be an asshole. You'd be an asshole. You could make everybody you know happy. It's kind of insane. That's so much money. You could give everybody you know. You could give all 700 fucking contacts in your Facebook list $1 million. You know, you still wouldn't even spend it all. I could give everybody I know $1 million. It'd be insane. And, you know, and it still wouldn't be enough to spend it all. And that's kind of crazy. It's like you can make the lives of everybody that you know. And those 700 people would go on and change mankind, I think. So it's just sort of weird. It's like, would you do it for the world? Yeah, I would do it for the world and my friends and my family. Yeah, but for myself, the answer is no. The answer is no. You know what I'm saying? I guess I do have a price, which is the world. I would do nasty stuff like that against my own nature if it fucking solved all the problems in the world. And I think I could take that billion, do something with it to try and save the world. I don't know what it would be. I think I would try to give free internet to the entire world is what I would try to do with it. So that nobody ever had to pay for internet ever again. I would just establish a free satellite system that like went all over the world and just provided Starlink for free. Like, you know, the opposite of terrible ass Elon Musk. I don't want to make money off of Starlink. I want every last person in the world to have internet so we can all ascend to the proper human race that we should be. And so, yeah, I would take one in the mouth or whatever for that. But it would have to be the world. It would have to be $1 billion. You understand?
okay. So
And I would still be like, no. Most of the time, I'd still be like, no.
support women's rights. Why don't you support pro-choice? It's like, well, I just think all life is valuable. Women deserve the right to choose whatever they want to do. Those two.
I want the world. Honestly, I want the world bad enough to do anything. Kill. Do that. I don't even want to speak on it. But it's like I would kill or do that or whatever it takes. I would steal. I would corrupt or lie. I don't know. I want the world, and not because I'm Alexander, but because the world has problems and I think I have answers. I think if we were to just focus on solutions as opposed to war or problems, I think we could solve all the world's problems. So yeah, you give me enough money to actually do it. I'd take a stab at mental health. I'd take a stab at fucking internet. I'd take a stab at fucking transportation. Turn the world into train tracks. I would say, you know, well, I mean, the colonized world, the civilized world into, you know, like train tracks and stuff. I would change things in a fundamental way, like Sid Meier, where I would make a sweeping God touches to the land with the $1 billion, that where I would just try and fix things wholesale. And there's a lot of killing problems in America, like the food's not good, so I would just try and foster every farm, build a farm initiative or whatever. There's a lot of things I would do with that money. I don't know. I don't even think billion is enough. I think you got to talk trillion. I don't think I would do that for $1 billion. I think it would have to be $1 trillion, honestly. And that's my answer. It took me a while to get to it. No for $1 billion, yes for $1 trillion, because $1 billion isn't enough. Sorry.
Things don't align correctly, so you have those that
That's how much I hate men.
With consistency with morality.
I honestly would be happy if I never spoke to another man ever again. Like, I hate fucking men, and honestly, I feel sad that all my friends are male. I do have a lot of female friends, but it's like, you know, a lot of my inner circle friends are male. Some of them are female, but you know, it's like, I feel sorry about that. I do have a dislike for the male gender, so I don't want it anywhere near me or on my body or anywhere near that. You understand? Fundamental aversion to it. Make me puke. So yeah, I don't even think I would do it for $1 billion, because immediately my mind goes to this place where it's like, if I gave everybody I know $1 million, I just voiced it out where my mind went. If I got $1 billion for sucking a dick, I'm going to give out $1 million to all 700 people I've ever met or loved on my Facebook or whatever. Everybody I've ever met in Denver that I've loved and respected, I'll just give them $1 million and try to change their lives. Then I would take the other, what is that? That's like probably $275 million or something like that. I would set aside 5 for myself so I could dodge all the world's problems if I needed to. And then I take a look at the other 265 million or 75 or whatever it is, 270 million. I take a look at the other 270 million and I think that's not enough money to change the world, you know? What do I do with that? I guess I spend that on trying to build a free satellite system in the sky that provides Starlink for everybody for like $270 million. I don't think $1 billion, I don't think 270 is enough for that. I think it would have to be, I'd have to be a trillionaire. So no, the answer is no. The answer is no. It took me a while to talk myself into it, because I'm like, can I save a bunch of people in Denver with that money? And the answer is yes, you can save your friends and family, but you can't actually change the world. You would need $1 trillion to change the world. So that's my final answer. Yes for $1 trillion, no for $1 billion, because it's like, in order to sacrifice my morals and my dislike of men that much, it would have to change the world. You understand? The world for fundamentally better. And that's so much money and so much time that you would need $1 trillion, and all the delegation and all the assistance and aids that it requires to get that kind of work done. You would need like $1 trillion, you know, and honestly, I would do it for that. Any less, and the answer is no. I would do it for the world. I wouldn't do it for any less. And to me, the world is $1 trillion. It's not $1 billion.
It's why if someone hears, oh, well,
I don't like sacrificing my morals and principles like that, but I would for the world. You understand? For Denver, for my friends and family and stuff, I would for the world. But it would have to be $1 trillion. You know what I'm saying?
you support this, so you should support this. That's not always true. It's humans are contradictory creatures. It's a moral consistency fallacy. It's a very, very common phenomenon. But I digress. Let's continue on with this video. Sorry about that. It came to my mind.
line it up, you believe it. Like, it's emotional. He was a damaged person who attached himself to Nick Fuentes to make himself feel better, you know? Whatever the he did, it destroyed his brain. It ate him from the inside out. It made him so paranoid.
An amazing edit.
Anyway, back to Ethel, the builder. I remember telling him, and she's trans. And he was kind of like, he ribbed me.
Here I was thinking she had a pussy.
Also, like, at some point, he said, do you like Lana? Like, you look like Lana Del Rey. Please don't come for me. I know I'm ugly, okay? I hate myself. Don't come for my looks. I mean, do whatever
You're not ugly.
you want. Kill me, like, I don't care. I'm just saying, like, I do not have an ego. I go outside and I get, like, spit on. Like, you don't have to tear me down more, like. But I was, like, thinking about it where I'm like, damn, real masculine top behavior being like,
You look like Lana.
we cuddled on my couch and made out. I've struggled finding a good word for what happened next. Because I think, like, simulated sex, it's too vague.
Is it some kind of alt-right dog whistle, Lana? It scares me a little bit. I love Lana. I like everything about Lana. Is Lana Del Rey some kind of secret right-wing dog whistle? Is that a crazy question to ask? Sparkle, Jump Rope Queen, and May Jailer. Wow, video games was her first video. Yeah, like when I think of Lana, I think of Billie and Olivia Rodrigo and Taylor Swift and all these leftist females that say stuff like, you know, what did Billie say recently? I forget. It was controversial. But anyways, I think of her as a leftist god, but is it mostly the right wing that buys her music? It seems kind of weird. No, I think that's patterning stuff on her, and I think it's unfair.
And frauding.
Why did Lana come into this conversation, you know?
Is too specific. But at some
The fuck does Lana have to do with this?
point, I put it between his thighs. Not his ass, unfortunately. We were like kissing. He flexed his legs together. Which, it's funny from like Mr. I'm not a gay bottom. When it's like, we all know now, like, he got pegged by black women. So, like, I don't know why he fronted so hard as a top, especially to a train.
This was such a gay video. I'm going to get off it now.
Supergirl's fallout is bigger than you think, and we gotta talk about what it really exposes. Why the Supreme Court just humiliated Trump on birthright citizenship, but gave him a huge advantage in the midterms by lifting spending limits. We go inside the crazy North Carolina inmate revolts, and if you've bought a PC, an iPad, or even a smartphone recently, you might actually be the victim of a massive corporate conspiracy. We're talking about all of that and even more on today's brand new Philip DeFranco show. You daily dive into the news, starting with this. Trump just got hit with a devastating decision from the Supreme Court. One of its most anticipated rulings this term, the Supreme Court voted to striking down the executive order signed on the first day of Trump's second term, which declared that babies born in the US cannot be granted citizenship if their parents were in the country illegally or temporarily. Now, it's also important that we get into the details for a number of reasons, starting with the fact that if you were looking at the headlines or even going into the body of these news pieces, you might have seen some conflicting information about whether the justices ruled 5-4 or 6-3. And the truth there is that it was genuinely confusing, so we should break it down. Right, so on one side, you had Justices John Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett joining the court's liberals and the majority, ruling that Trump's order violated both federal law and the 14th Amendment of the Constitution, which explicitly states, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. But then on the other side, you had Justices Clarence Thomas, Neil Gorsuch, and Samuel Alito dissenting. Right, and so it's Brett Kavanaugh where things start to get a little confusing, right? Because you had him agreeing with the majority that Trump's order violated federal law, specifically the Nationality Act of 1940, which codified birthright citizenship into federal statute. But Kavanaugh also partially dissented, rejecting the court's finding that Trump's order violated the 14th Amendment, which is then why you had some outlets saying the court ruled 6-3 that the order violated federal law and 5-4 that it violated the Constitution. But that discrepancy aside, I cannot understate how massive of a decision this is. Right, this would have changed how we define citizenship in the US in the most fundamental way, since the 14th Amendment guaranteed citizenship to formerly enslaved people shortly after the Civil War. Though also, right, the interpretation that birthright citizenship applies to the children of illegal immigrants, that actually has roots about 130 years old, when the Supreme Court ruled in favor of a man by the name of Wong Kim Ark. Because you had this guy who was born in San Francisco to Chinese parents, and you had the court ruling that he was considered a US citizen, establishing the long-held principle that the 14th Amendment automatically grants citizenship to any baby born in America. Though there are a few limited exceptions, like the children of foreign diplomats. And you've had that since then, just being the precedent, kind of set in stone. But then you had a lawyer for the Trump administration, Solicitor General D. John Sauer, arguing in court that birthright citizenship had created a birth tourism industry, and claiming that, quote, uncounted thousands of foreigners from potentially hostile nations have flocked to give birth in the United States in recent decades. And you had Sauer also claiming that the phrasing of the 14th Amendment invokes a certain political allegiance that is required to be a U.S. citizen, and arguing that the Constitution did not grant citizenship to the children of temporary visitors or illegal aliens who have no such allegiance. But then on the other side, you had an attorney for the ACLU, which sued to block Trump's order, hitting back, saying that the phrasing Sauer was referring to has long been interpreted to refer to the children of foreign diplomats and others, not children born on U.S. soil to those here illegally or temporarily, arguing the framers of the 14th Amendment meant to have universal law of citizenship subject to narrow exceptions. Also beyond that, you had dozens of professors filing a briefing supporting the legal challenge and arguing that Trump's order, it would just be completely disastrous. But according to those experts, around 250,000 kids would have been born without citizenship in the US each year under Trump's order. So you're talking about roughly 5 million by 2045. And many of them, they said they'd probably be left just without a nationality entirely, right? Because their parents would either be unwilling or unable to obtain citizenship for their US born kids in their homeland. And that's on top of what you had professors arguing would be enormous economic consequences. And in fact, that was echoed in another brief by over 140 scholars, where it said that immigrants and their citizen children, they're essential to balancing the aging US workforce, increasing the national GDP, and overall providing net positive fiscal contributions. You had them arguing that Trump's order, it would likely cause mass deportations that could result in labor shortages and increased inflation. And as far as more from the Supreme Court justices themselves, you had Roberts, who of course is a conservative, writing the majority opinion and arguing citizenship then and now was the right to have rights to freely participate in our political community. The framers of the 14th Amendment extended that promise to every freeborn person in this land, and saying we keep that promise today. But then with the dissenting justices, you had them kind of echoing the Trump administration's talking points. Or with Alito writing, this is one of the most important decisions in the history of the court, and in my judgment, the court has made a serious mistake, and adding that the ruling will seriously affect the country's future. And then as far as Trump's response, this is one of the times where I don't get to say that Trump had a meltdown. He, at least publicly facing, is not as pissed off as you might expect, at least as of I'm recording this. Right, that is definitely subject to change, because this order, it was very obviously a massive deal to him. Trump cared about this case so much, he literally went to attend oral arguments at this.
Yeah, but his cronies are like, you gotta stop raging out or you'll sink your presidency. You gotta stop raging out or you'll sink your presidency. You gotta stop raging out or you'll sink your sink your presidency.
Supreme Court. And you might remember that it marked the first time ever in US history that a sitting president's done that. And that's seen largely because of the whole separation of powers thing. You usually don't want the president there because it might seem like he's trying to intimidate the Supreme Court into voting a certain way. But you know, this is Trump, different times. So it also, one, might be because he's getting used to losing, or two, because he is getting some other wins that we'll get to. But I mean, just another example of his reaction when he took a L, the Supreme Court, right? Remember when they struck down his tariffs? It was another one of his most important policies, and he went ballistic. He called them unpatriotic, disloyal to our Constitution, a disgrace to our nation, and that's among other things. Well, today, as of recording, he did send off a number of posts they were unusually subdued for him. You had him or whoever writing things like, the Supreme Court upheld birthright citizenship, which is too bad for our country, but we can easily make it up in Congress through legislation, and arguing that a new constitutional amendment isn't necessary and calling on Congress to start today. So then a huge thing I have to hit on is, well, numerous legal experts have said that a change to birthright citizenship would in fact require a constitutional amendment, which probably makes sense to you because it was literally established in an amendment. You then also, as far as Trump's reaction, had him seemingly implying that this was all kind of some Chinese psyop or that there's gonna be a Chinese takeover or something now. Writing, I would like to congratulate President Xi and the great country of China on their massive birthright citizenship win. Though also, maybe Trump was a little more subdued because he knew that others would take it to a 10. And if that's the case, well, he definitely wasn't wrong.
I mean, I predicted the court would rule against Trump because the globalists want the borders open. They want replacement migration. It's really white genocide.
You also
Or we just like people of color and immigrants.
Poison-resistant rat Stephen Miller calling it one of the most destructive and outrageous decisions in the long history of the Supreme Court, and adding that American citizenship belongs only and solely to Americans.
rat.
Which I will say just is a pretty crazy take from someone whose family literally immigrated to the United States to flee Jewish persecution in Russia in the early 1900s. Like, my man, I know you love revisionist history, but when you say like, they are flooding our borders, you is they. Although, counterpoint, if we had closed borders, we wouldn't have Stephen Miller here. Oof. Is Stephen Miller being in power actually one of the best arguments for closed borders? Right, against any immigration or asylum? I'll have to think about it some more. But back on topic, you also had some slamming the conservative justices who sided with the majority, saying that they're traitors who betrayed the country. And while they all took hits, again, they really homed in on Amy Coney Barrett. I mean, hell, you even had Representative Nancy Mace literally calling for Barrett to be removed from the bench. Though also, they didn't have a problem with her or the other conservatives with some of the other rulings today. Because you also had the Supreme Court ruling 6-3 along ideological lines to uphold laws banning trans athletes from playing on girls and women's sports teams. And there, you had the case focusing on a high school athlete in West Virginia and a college athlete in Idaho who challenged laws in their respective states requiring that students play on teams based on biological sex, right? AKA their sex at birth. And even though the ruling was just on those two state laws, the implications here, they're nationwide. And around 25 other states have their own laws restricting or barring trans athletes. And Title IX, it was at the center of a lot of the arguments here. And in the end, you had Justice Kavanaugh writing in the majority opinion, consistent with Title IX and the Equal Protection Clause, we hold that the states may maintain women's and girls' sports for biological females, and saying the Constitution and Title IX do not require an overhaul of women's and girls' sports throughout America. Though we then also said that he expressed some sympathy for trans athletes, noting that most of the people impacted by this debate are either teenagers or in their early 20s, and, quote, those student athletes want to play sports. Their desire to compete warrants respect, and saying no student athlete on either side of the issue, whether a biological female or transgender, deserves to be ostracized or vilified. So then with this, as far as reactions, you had people who support bans on trans athletes celebrating this as a major win. Or you had the president of the Alliance Defending Freedom saying blue states with boys on girls' podiums, you're next. Though then also, in response, you had LGBT rights activists emphasizing that right now, this ruling doesn't actually impact protections that exist in states like California, though they still are condemning the decision overall, with the President for Human Rights Campaign calling the ruling heartbreaking and adding, when politicians convince the public that any girl could be the wrong kind of girl, they invite harassment, intimidation, invasive questioning, or even an inspection of their body by a total stranger. And on that last note, you had the New York Times adding that there are some pretty tricky questions that are being posed by this rule. Things like how sports officials as defined by the opinion, noting while gender verification testing, a long vilified and intrusive practice, has resumed at the Olympic level, how will grade schools, middle schools, and high schools conduct those tests? And asking, will everyone be tested or just the athletes who draw suspicion? Right, or to put it another way, there's a question of, if you don't want someone playing on a team, or you want to even maybe just harass them, will someone just make a false allegation about some random child and then they're either barred from the sport or they have to have some sort of medical exam with a stranger? But ultimately, we're gonna have to see what happens there. The debate is, of course, far from over. But then that also, it brings us to the last ruling that was handed down by the Supreme Court today, which is very much being seen as a huge win for Republicans, especially heading into the midterms. Because the Supreme Court, they just lifted rules restricting how much national political parties can spend on advertising in coordination with candidates. And in another 6-3 ruling, they decided that these limitations violated free speech. And at least right now, Republicans are the ones who stand to benefit the most from it. Or with the Washington Post, for example, reporting that top Republican committees ended last month with over $250 million in the bank and no debt. And then you compare that to top Democratic committees who have just $127 million plus $18 million in debt. And this decision now allows these committees to use as much of these funds as they want in coordination with candidates and their campaigns, right? Meaning that they can get the low TV advertising rates that campaigns are entitled to, while outside groups still have to pay more for advertising. And actually, J.D. Vance was among the first candidates to challenge those rules back in 2022 when he was joined by major Republican committees. So that, as you had Democrats pushing back against it, thinking that it just opens the door for political parties to pay way too many expenses. In her dissent, you had Justice Kagan really hitting on this, saying that this ruling enables a party to serve as an alternative checking account for a campaign. And adding, as a result, a donor will be able to give a party as much as $500,000 as compared to the $7,000 he can give directly to the candidate to cover the candidate's bills. But then on the other side, you had Kavanaugh saying that this allows both parties, Democrat and Republican, to participate more freely and compete more fully in the political process and to coordinate more closely with their candidates. And so yeah, overall, just a very big day out of the Supreme Court again. And while they've now officially closed out their term, it feels like a lot of things have been set in the setup for the midterms. Or we're going to be seeing post-decision maneuvering, butterfly effects. There's a lot to watch. Though also,
I'm going to use my chain spell to kill a goblin here. I should have done that the first goblin I got in. I'm not playing Red Mage correctly. I'm out of mana now too. But I will run a chain spell with 2 mana bars and just kill fire 2, kill goblins with fire 2.
in the meantime, I'd really love to know your thoughts, opinions, and reactions to the decisions today. And then there's more we gotta dive into in just a minute, but first, let me thank a sponsor. Because recently, you've probably seen, because you watched this show, that the Supreme Court handed down a major ruling on President Trump's authority to remove officials from independent agencies. But depending on the headline you saw, you might have thought that the court either blocked Trump, expanded his power, or did both. And to understand not just what happened, but how different outlets are telling that same story, I use today's sponsor, Ground News. And sometimes it's about just seeing what the outlets are focusing on. Right? Some focused on the court protecting the Federal Reserve, while others highlighted the broader expansion of presidential authority over the other agencies. So sometimes it's the same ruling, but a very different emphasis. And that's exactly what Ground News lets you see. It compares how hundreds of news outlets across the political spectrum are covering the exact same story side by side. It also shows factuality ratings and who owns each publication, giving you more context behind the coverage. Though always, my favorite feature is the blind spot feed, which highlights stories that one side is covering heavily while the other side's barely talking about it. It ends up honestly being one of the fastest ways to find news gaps in your news diet. And hey, if you want help understanding the news instead of just reacting to the headlines, Ground News is absolutely worth checking out. So head to ground.news/DeFranco or scan that QR code to get 40% off unlimited access to the Vantage plan, which is the one I use. But then, diving right back into the news, let's talk about this whole Supergirl situation. Because while a lot of people have tried to paint the situation as one thing or another, it does at the very least seem like both conservative culture warriors and even normie movie critics not the biggest fan, right? They seem generally united in their hatred for what's going to probably be one of the biggest flops of the summer.
A cringy, cliched, tedious mess of dull, lifeless action scenes that we've seen a million times before.
It's just, and then.
Look at you, man-child. Look at your girl repellents in the fucking background. You're the worst one. You're the worst man-child with girl repellents I've ever seen.
And then, till we get to the ending.
I really liked the quotable lines from the villains.
They're spraying themselves with girl repellent.
Such as, and when he looks surprised and looks like he's doing a bad Robert De Niro impersonation.
Jeremy Johns, the last guy, his thumbnails always let me know exactly what he thinks of the movies, but I still watch. But yeah, the movie's generally been seen as kind of a failure regarding the reviews and the box office, with it getting a 54% from critics on Rotten Tomatoes, as well as a semi-decent 76% audience score, though that audience score may also be impacted by the lack of people that are watching it. Because you see, opening weekend, the movie netted just $37 million domestically and $68 million globally, which, would be great if it was a movie that had like the budget of Obsession. But Warner Brothers, they sank $170 million into just the production alone. That's not
on that stinker. Why?
Not even counting the millions and millions of dollars for.
Maybe the girls will like superheroes and we can save the superhero multiverse. No, girls won't save you. You've been riding Marvel for too long and is shitifying Hollywood. And you're going to have to change, bitch. You're actually going to have to rewrite and change and reform. Just like our government, just like your sexual politics, just like everything. We got to change everything and reform. Sorry.
marketing and advertising. And according to Deadline, industry sources are estimating a $125 million loss. And so then with that, you've got people looking for someone to blame. And so you have a lot of fingers being pointed towards James Gunn and Peter Safran, the guys hired a few years ago to make DC the new Marvel. They're trying to build or rebuild a whole cinematic universe, and their first swing was, of course, last year's Superman reboot. And that, of course, was generally seen as a huge win. It got good reviews, $619 million. In fact, the sequel to it, it's scheduled to release next summer, with Supergirl meant to be the in-between film. And while you had many with Supergirl saying they didn't like it because of this thing or that, maybe on a technical level, the writing, the acting, the camera work. Others, they didn't like it for what they said was a different reason.
The American people, for the love of all that is holy, do not want woke.
Now, of course, almost any superhero film that has a female lead, it's inevitably going to get hit by a bunch of guys going, whoa. But also in this case, it looked like they were taking issue with the particular decision to cast Millie Alcock as Supergirl. And that appeared to be for a number of reasons,
Damn, she's fly.
Including that they disapproved of the way that she looked.
At least Wonder Woman kind of looked like she was in shape. This girl doesn't look super at all. These are the memes in my timeline.
But then also, going past her looks, you had a lot of people getting real mad about some things she said while she was promoting the film. Right in the first step here, you had Millie telling Vanity Fair that her experience on House of the Dragon made her aware that, quote, simply existing as a woman in that space is something that people comment on.
Yeah, sounds right. That whole right-wing Game of Thrones shit, yeah.
We've become very comfortable having this weird ownership of women's bodies, where they're saying, I can't really stop them, I can only be myself. And so you ended up seeing like a number of conservatives kind of just pissed off at the feminist sentiment there, or with inevitably some hurling abuse at her on social media, which led to her telling Variety, I didn't even say men, I said people, and they got so angry. I was like, you're proving my point. And then adding, I guess women know that this is just how it's always been, unfortunately. And it's from a lot of people whose profiles have no photo, who are burner accounts, or someone's name and then data for Christian, which is hilarious to me. And
this is so fucking lucrative. I wonder if I could maybe make like 10 billion ISK, and I'll just bring a Caldari control tower out here, or like an Astrahos, and I'll build my own station out here. I want to make it public so people can stop and use the services without harassment or whatever. Yeah, I want to put like So I'm out in this low sex system that only has like 3 people in this frontline faction warfare system for Caldari. How hard would it be? How expensive is it to put a public Astrahas out there where people can like refine their ore, compress their ore and do their industry and stuff? How expensive does that run? Is it a control tower? Is it an Astrahas? What do I need to make the public one that people use in high sec, like in high sec when they compress ice and all the high sec ice systems in EVE Online? It's $250 million a month for the fuel blocks. Is there a way to make money with the Athenor? Maybe I should join like a local faction warfare Caldari militia. What is the strongest Caldari faction warfare corporation currently? Oh, it's my, nice, my pen, but I lost my thing to it, unfortunately. Oh, this thing's worthless now. I don't know, I could stuff it in my cell phone and hope that it stays there, I guess. I can just always just leave it there, and if it falls out, it falls out. Oh, 68 Monk Hardcore died. Very sad. Maybe I should be on Hardcore. Oops, I'm out of mana. I was gonna do my chain spell.
I mean, whose opinion do you really care about? If you're pissing the right kind of people off, you're doing okay. And you seem to see that comment kind of take...
Do they edit her tattoos out?
What was a generally small but meaningful fire and stoked it into an inferno.
Like, I'm sorry, so like the right kinds of people to you are Christian dads, the most likely millennial dads, the men who grew up on Marvel and DC, who are most likely your franchise's most loyal fan base and target audience. Those are the people that are the right fans to piss off. It's just dumb. It's truly just dumb.
Or with Alcock's original quote getting twisted into this game of telephone until it became, you know, she hates white Christian fathers, which is clearly not what she meant.
What?
Especially the white part. She never even mentioned race. And really quick, just to throw out my opinion here and also share my personal experience, I don't have a problem with religious people. I'm friends with many. Some of the best people I know are religious folk. But if you are a creator, whether it be the smallest person online to the biggest star in the world, you are very familiar with the type of internet account that she is talking about. Some of the most disgusting things, the slurs, the threats that have ever been thrown my way have come from a number of accounts that love to include Bible quotes, right? And that can be factually true while also not then turning that into all religious people are bad, or then somehow into white Christian fathers are bad. But then also you had the outrage machine finding this other thing to chew on because a reporter asked her on the red carpet whether Supergirl is queer.
I don't know. I think that what makes this film so beautiful is that it's not centered around a man. It's not centered around love at all, if anything. But we'll see. I don't really know, but I don't know. I don't know. She'd probably go both ways.
With that clip, I imagine making Jesse Waters over at Fox News do a fist pump in the air in the pre-production meeting.
Guys don't get into that. Maybe that's cool when you're 18, but when a girl's bisexual, we don't trust her.
What?
We don't trust her, and the ones
Yes,
I've
I
met
do.
are super weird. So to say
trust
you're
them more.
bisexual, it's not a turn on. It's not a turn on.
Do you think they're just trying to turn you off?
I haven't considered that.
And then you had the movie actually hitting theaters, and when the reviews started rolling in, you you had a lot on the right feeling completely vindicated.
We're over the forced upon us girl boss era. It's not authentic. It's not organic. We're no longer buying it. Like, it's not that women can't be empowered and fierce and all the great things. It's just stop forcing it on us in the form of like Supergirl. If she's 5'1", it's a miracle. She's very weirdly small. And they want us to believe she's this fierce super. No.
Right, you generally had kind of all these commentators and pundits throwing Supergirl into the same wastebasket as the live action Snow White and the all-female Ghostbusters. But you also had others pushing back, pointing out that female-led superhero films have seen tremendous success before, pointing to Wonder Woman in 2017 and Captain Marvel in 2019. Plus, you've also had a long list of superhero films with male leads that have disappointed over the past several years. Think Black Adam, Morbius, and The Flash. So some argue that Supergirl's failure has less to do with it being woke and more to do with it just kind of being a bad movie. Though you did also have outlets like the New York Times saying it literally might be because she's a woman. Or with the New York Times reporting, quote, box office analyst on Sunday noted an uncomfortable truth. Female.
So that was a chain spell, and it got me through a whole goblin, like pretty much immediately, which was cool. Stop. I just want to like drop a fire or two on his ass or kill him. Yep. That was fun. That was quite fun using Chain Spell. It'll only get more fun. I like Chain Spell. Maybe I should be on my hardcore character, actually. Although, I don't know. She'll have to unlock Ninja, which is so fucking annoying. It's dangerous, frankly.
Led superhero movies have been rejected almost uniformly over the past 5 years or so, perhaps reflecting a resurgent misogyny among the core fan base, which is largely male. And the report saying that Warner Brothers executives believed the culture had evolved past that, and they were surprised by both the ferocity of the backlash and its reach. But whatever the case, at least publicly, you have DC Studios saying, we're moving forward, with their chief executive saying, while Supergirl didn't meet our box office expectations, it's just one component of a broader long-term strategy at DC Studios that we remain confident in. And so for now, we'll see how things move forward, though. If just to quickly add my opinion, I watched the movie over the weekend with my two boys, and it was okay. I can 100% see why it bombed. I don't think this lands on Millie Halcock or any one specific thing. But then also, like, I'm just gonna move forward with my day, and I'm still interested to see what happens in the DC universe or whatever the hell is coming out. And it's not gonna become my whole personality to hate on this film and or try to turn myself into some victim of woke Hollywood. But with that said, this is actually kind of one of the fantastic things about having a show like this. I'd love to know your thoughts. If you watched the movie, what were your thoughts? But also, if you didn't watch the movie, why? Because for me personally, that's probably going to be the most interesting part of this story, is hearing from you on it. But then also, to jump from that to some really, really serious news, we should talk about this North Carolina hostage situation. Because you had it going down at the Bertie Martin Regional Detention Center in Windsor, which is a roughly 90-bed facility that holds pretrial detainees and short-term inmates from both Bertie and Martin counties. And very early yesterday morning, you had 88 inmates taking control of the facility from the 3 guards on staff at the time. Local law enforcement immediately responding, and the whole thing lasting nearly 9 hours. Right, as far as the full timeline here, at around 5 o'clock in the morning yesterday, you had the inmates at Bertie Martin starting their revolt. They pin down the guards, they take them as hostages, but one of them also escapes. And then, within a matter of minutes, you've got 20 cops flooding the scene, along with agents from the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation and the FBI. And all of that just kicking off one of the longest mornings this small town's ever seen. Because you had negotiators, desperately trying to figure out any way to talk these inmates down and keep them from hurting either the guards or even each other. And actually, 4.5 hours later, they get somewhere. They managed to convince the inmates to let both the hostages go. And while we're not sure exactly what the deal was, along with them, 18 of the inmates also walked out. Right? And then you had 20 minutes later, another 62 walking out, leaving only 8 inmates on the inside. Right? And those guys, they stayed holed up until nearly 2 o'clock in the afternoon, when those last few were detained and the North Carolina SBI announced that the facility was clear. As far as the guards, we don't know exactly what shape they're in, but we do know they've been treated for injuries. And as far as the inmates, they've been moved. And that's everyone from low-level offenders all the way up to those charged with murder. Right? And as far as the facility, that's essentially shut down right now while the investigation works to try to figure out exactly what sparked this inmate takeover. You also had the local sheriff being very clear that this jail is not under his umbrella, noting that it's run by an independent agency chosen by the jail commission rather than either of the 2 counties that it serves. Right, and with that, noting that questions of the staffing and the circumstances that led up to the whole thing yesterday, they're gonna have to be uncovered in the investigation. But he did promise to release any information to the public as soon as possible. Also, the thing that you've seen is that this whole situation left the community shaken up, especially the family members of inmates inside the facility at the time.
My son's safety was initially my first thought, just to make sure that he was okay. He did give me a call and let me know that he was okay. and what was going on inside. He said it was just a mess. And so I just was concerned about his safety and his well-being.
And the
Prison
concerns
revolts
there,
are
it was
so
made
cool.
even worse by scammers who were trying to take advantage of the inmates' friends and family. You had the Martin County Sheriff's Office warning people that they've been receiving reports of messages promising to release their loved ones if they sent an electronic payment. And you had them explaining on Facebook, this is a scam. At this time, neither the Martin County Sheriff's Office nor the Bertie County Sheriff's Office is placing inmates on electronic monitoring for release. And they've asked anyone that got one of those calls or texts to report it to the police. So as that's played out, you've also had others saying, hey, what happened here? It is a direct result of the jail mistreating the inmates.
A lot of stuff been going on down at that jail. They not feeding them, not letting them take baths, not doing that thing. Y'all feel like a riot just broke out for no. Them folks down there going through stuff and they humans just like everybody else. They got feelings.
So there you had Bertie County Sheriff Tyrone Ruffin pushing back, calling those rumors misinformation and saying that he'd address those concerns when the situation is under control. But really for now, we're gonna have to kind of wait along with the community to get some real answers about what happened here. And then there's more we gotta dive into in just a minute. But first, let me thank a sponsor and say, you know, if you've looked into healthier dog food before,
I've got to stop and scoop the litter box and water the garden and yep, and that's gonna take half an hour, and then I've got family dinner, so I've got to stop here. I'm tempted to finish this site because it's got like 10 minutes to go, but no, that will run me late, so I will just go dock up here and come back later. Okay, we are going out to the safe spot. How's my health? Real good, real good. I'll just keep going. Damn, those 100 mana, it's not worth it. I'm suddenly low health, which doesn't make any sense, and I might die here. I was full health fucking 5 seconds ago. What? What hit me? 108 for Goblin Rush. It did not kill me. What do I do? I'm out of mana. I better sleep him, huh? I think I'll live just because I have an arrow. Oh no, Poison Go. I will get to a Cure 3 before he kills me. Wait, I cast, wow, what did I cast? I cast Blizzard, yes. Blizzard's good. Kill him. Yeah, that's actually good. That did hurt him. 66. Okay, so we lived. I gotta make sure I'm out where I can't die. One of the things I like about FFXI is you can leave it on like all day and it doesn't ever kick you. EVE Online's like that too. I need to play games like that. Mortal doesn't kick you either. That's why I'm playing Mortal. Okay, so now. Okay, I'm gonna bow out here, guys. I'm terribly sorry. I've got to go to family dinner. I'm gonna pause early because I've got to water the garden. Gonna go water the garden and do family dinner. I love you guys. You've been watching Skycatlive. I'm a full-time variety gamer all day, every day. Put me on in the background. Click on the cast face to donate. Come to the Twitch or the YouTube. Give me a like, sub, or a follow. My cat is staring at me like guiltily, like, are you gonna feed me? Are you gonna feed me? And yes, I am. I'm gonna feed you. I'm gonna feed you, kitty. I'm gonna feed you. You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna feed you, kitty. You moody kitty. So I will be back here in like an hour and a half or something like that. Maybe a little longer, maybe a little shorter. We don't know. And I love you guys. Thank you so much. I will be back. Bye. Yeah, I'm going to feed you, kitty. So, okay. All of this is good, except I am not sitting out where I should be. I want you to go to... Port Fleet 2. I'll have to come back. And so I will stop this stream. See you guys. Gotta do a little bit of dinner stuff. Oops. Okay. Hi guys, I'm back. Uh, apparently, I'm waiting on a phone call, but apparently dinner's gonna be later tonight, so I went to water the garden and I'm just going back to it here. And so yep, and I'm recording, so we're gonna just go back to playing games and stuff while I oh no, what happened there? I was up and now I'm not anymore. That seems odd. Oh well, load. So I'll go back out on EVE Online and continue to make money. What am I gonna do? I can't play Rust and Mortal at the same time. I should bring Caldari Navy Vespas as opposed to Warrior 2s. They're not that much more expensive for how good they are. Oh. Oh, these settings didn't save or whatever. Why are you not saving settings? Oh, right, because I crashed, huh? Oh, did I change macros? I don't know. I think I did. I think I changed my... I did. I changed everything, which is kind of annoying. But, so first thing we need to do is put the macro... or put the macros in... compact. There, good. And then...
probably had the same reaction I did, thinking this looks great, but I'm not thawing frozen food every single morning. And that's exactly why today's sponsor, Sundays for Dogs, first caught my attention. This is real dog food made with human-grade ingredients, real meat, organs, and superfoods. My dogs love this stuff. It was created by a vet who wanted dog food that was healthier than traditional kibble without making feeding your dog feel like a second job. And because it's air-dried, you get the convenience of kibble with the nutrition of fresh food. No freezer, no fridge, no thawing, just scoop and serve. And honestly, my favorite part is how excited the dogs get when the second bag comes out. They're acting like I've suddenly become a 5-star chef. And because it's made with high-quality ingredients, it can support healthier digestion, shinier coats, fresher breath, and better overall health. So if you've been meaning to upgrade your dog's food, this is one of the easiest ways to do it. Just scan that QR code or go to sundaysfordogs.com/Phil for 50% off your first order. That's sundaysfordogs.com/Phil for 50% start today. So then a huge thing I have to hit on is, well, numerous legal experts have said that a change to birthright citizenship would in fact require a constitutional amendment. They're acting like I've suddenly become a 5-star chef of the show today. It's more news you need to know. And first up, we have a story of maybe cosmic justice, you could say. Because in Alabama, you had a man who recently died from a heart attack while trying to hide the body of his girlfriend, with the man being Daniel Robbins and his girlfriend being Jessica Folds. And you had officials saying, based on the investigation, the female victim was strangled and it appears the male was attempting to dispose of the body in a remote location. And you had them apparently finding both of them on June 10th in a wooded area in the town of Lynette. And there, they said they also found a truck that was still running nearby, the tailgate was down, and there were drag marks in the dirt going towards the woods where they were found. Right, and then when officials sent the bodies away for an autopsy, they started to piece the story together. You've got officials believing that everything kind of unfolded in a domestic violence dispute that night before they were found. Well, you know, with all this, yes, it is maybe a case of crazy karma. Also, at the end of the day, it is still horrifying. 1, for Folds, and 2, for her friends and family that are never really going to get answers or legal justice that likely would have come from this. She had 3 adult sons and other loved ones that are never going to have that closure. But even so, you're seeing them choosing to remember her for the impact that she made in their lives, saying she touched the lives of many with her heart of gold, deep love for everyone, and a smile that brightened the world. And then also, you had the news today that 4 guys in Connecticut, they figured out how to make ATMs spit out cash like they were hitting a Vegas jackpot. They scored over $500,000. Though unfortunately for them, the FBI was watching and now they've been hit with just a ton of charges. And of course, I should say, all of this comes with a big, fat allegedly. But what it appears that they did is called a jackpotting scheme, and they apparently hit ATMs all across Connecticut. And despite, the name jackpotting making it sound like there's luck involved, it's actually a specialized cybercrime where you have criminals physically accessing an ATM, connecting hardware loaded with malware, and tricking the machine into dispensing cash on command. And according to prosecutors, you had this group working as a coordinated crew that targeted ATMs over a 10-day period in August of 2025. And so you'd have one person who would open the ATM, another installing the device, one acting as a lookout, and the other is collecting the cash. And then going to Little Ocean's 11, you had the authorities saying that they tried to avoid detection by changing clothes between visits, wearing disguises, and using rental vehicles as they traveled from locations. With their biggest alleged payout actually coming from a single ATM where investigators say they walked away with roughly $136,000. But ultimately, the FBI, Connecticut State Police, and local law enforcement brought them down. The 4 guys now facing federal charges, including conspiracy and interstate transportation of stolen property. And if they're convicted on the most serious counts, they could face up to 15 years in federal prison. But then also, in the news, if you bought a PC, an iPad, or even a smartphone recently and thought, why is this so insanely expensive? Turns out you might actually be the victim of a massive corporate conspiracy, because you have a massive new antitrust class action lawsuit that was just filed in California targeting the big 3 of computer memory: Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron. And together, these 3 giants, they control about 90% of the entire global DRAM market, and they've been posting record profits ever since the AI boom required their products to even run. And according to 17 plaintiffs, including everyday consumers and small tech repair shops, these guys allegedly conspired to completely break the free market and drive the price of standard consumer RAM up by a staggering 700% over the last 4 years. And you have them arguing that they got away with this by using the massive boom in artificial intelligence as a convenient cover story. Because while you know that tech companies are paying out the nose for this DRAM to feed AI data centers, this lawsuit alleges that the big 3 coordinated a massive simultaneous pullback on standard DDR3 and DDR4 memory modules. So the stuff that goes into your phone and laptop, artificially manufacturing a massive shortage so that they could gouge consumers without fear of being undercut. And this actually isn't the first time they've allegedly done this. Back in the mid-2000s, you had Samsung and SK Hynix literally pleading guilty to criminal DRAM price fixing, paying hundreds of millions of dollars in fines. But at least for right now, you got Micron denying the claims, and you have experts noting that it is going to be incredibly tough to prove all of this in court. Because you have things like the fact that these companies are actually restarting DDR4 production because the newest DDR5 is being used for AI. Not to mention finding evidence that they actually colluded behind closed doors rather than just independently chase that sweet, sweet AI hype money. And then, not to sound too jaded or too cynical, but even if the class action lawsuit is successful, I don't actually know if it would be enough to actually change their practices. If anything, what we've seen with similar situation and allegations ramifications is that this is kind of seen as the cost of doing business for some companies. And in the meantime, all of the stuff that we want to buy, it stays super expensive. And then it ends up being a vicious cycle because every time we buy a product at the inflated prices, it just reinforces that's the newest bar. And that's even if the cost to make it go down. But that, my friend, you beautiful bastard, is the end of your Tuesday show. Thank you for watching, being a part of the conversation in those comments down below, hitting that like button to keep us in your algorithm and all the good stuff. I love yo faces, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow.
He suicided before I could do anything. Nice. That's really good. That's why I like goblins. Occasionally, 1 out of every 50 or something will suicide like that, and it's like actually really fun. Just get free XP. Okay, what do we do here? I guess I do just start on the next goblin, I guess, since I have all my buffs and everything. It just starts like these rolls of stuff. You're like, I want a refresh spell. A haste spell. And a narrow spell. And a regen spell. Ugh. And he suicided at the end, too.
Hello, people. It is really sunny outside. I'm going to teach you guys how to touch grass. So you just put your hand out, find the grass, usually looks green, and lean in and touch the grass. That's how you touch grass. Grass. Touch grass. Anyway, guys, while I'm here, let me start my conversation. So, I wanted to talk to you guys about humiliation rituals and the purpose.
Wait, is that Denver? Oops, no, I don't think that's the proper color street sign. It looks like Denver. Hello? Oh yeah. Oh, so 7.0 is, or oh, sorry. Oh, good. It's out on stable, huh? So cool. So that's something I could do.
Of humiliation rituals, okay? Humiliation rituals were meant to be overcome. Humiliation rituals were meant to be overcome. If you fail to overcome a humiliation ritual, you'll be stuck in that cycle. When you're somebody who's vibrant and you've got light, you generate your own light. People are going to be triggered by this, right? Because some people can't generate.
So I learned that 7 Days to Die 3.0 is out. So, okay, so wow, 7 Days hit GeForce Now, which is one of my big complaints about it. Maybe I'll play a little bit of that for half an hour and just see about getting my settings in place, because I've been waiting for that. That's cool. Play 7 Days. Wait, did we jump to a new one? Can we run a medium? I don't think I have the strength. It takes forever. But what else are we doing? Let's go see if they kill us in the medium or not. And if I can just chug through it until the next one pops. Oh no, we're at the medium, huh? Okay. Yeah, I think I can kill thoraxes, yeah. See how much damage they do. No, this will jam my cat, but... Maybe I can run mediums, huh? All the way up to mediums, smalls, and mediums. Tristans are really good because they can span like 3 things. Higher ships can't. Like, destroyers are good. They last longer, but I don't know. Yeah, we can do mediums just fine. I have to pay attention, but yeah. Well, maybe it's all good. We'll see. Why is that my fault? That's your fault. Maybe there's a better coat than this, huh? I don't know. It has a lot of armor. Oh yeah, 57 is Scorpion Harness. Or Halberg, I don't know. Can RDM wear Halberg? No, that's 69, and I don't think I have a... Well, I have a Royal Cloak at 59. That's what I'm actually waiting for. So that's in 4 levels. Hit the reload. Ooh, did all my settings save? I hope so. I might have to do keybinds, but that might be it. I left my fire burning for 3 weeks. Ooh, nice. Yep, I'll take that. And I got 7 waters. Let's see if I got more waters in here. I'm fairly sure. Ooh, let's look at the settings and turn them the fuck up. Yep, video, DLSS, DLLA, VSync, FPS limit is off, brightness, first person. You know, the default camera mode, actually, I would prefer that was if that was in third person, actually. The field of view is good. Oops, now we're low, probably because I'm not attacking. I don't know. Let's see. I'm kind of low, and I might have to leave this fight, but we'll see. Because I'm not attacking. I'll probably kill them before it does enough damage to me because I'm moving so fast. Yeah, I was able to fend this off. There we go. Hopefully I get my armor back before the next spawn. Reflected shadows, shadow distance to ultra. Maybe I'll just put it all on all, not custom, but we'll go down to ultra, AI sharpening up, full ultra, full ultra, reflection quality ultra, ultra. Sign quality, apply. UI, dynamic mesh. I had turned this all down, but that's all good, I think, actually. So, oh, yeah, but the motion blur. I have motion blur now. That's no good. Motion blur's got to be off. SSAO, ultra, apply. No motion blur. Oh, yes, it's beautiful, quite beautiful. My jump is not correct, which is so weird. It's like the sandbox options didn't load correctly, and I'll have to examine that again, I guess. Boy, the game's looking the best it's ever looked. Game's starting to look like almost acceptable. It's not like amazing, but it's not bad either in full like GeForce Now with like all the settings and everything. Okay, there's all those buffs I want. This buff. No, no, don't stop. No, don't stop. Get on that one. Don't kill me. I guess I'll pull and go to the safe spot here. I don't really want to get in armor because it makes PvP harder. No, leave. Leave before I get hurt. No, I got a little bit of damage, but nothing really too bad. I don't know, the medium's kind of hard. Maybe I should go to another one now. Yep, let's go to another one now. Pull your drones. We got a little bit of progress in the medium, and in that way I'll slowly chunk it away and then get the credit. Go to Scout VSC. Okay, and now I believe I will. I think I want to make a stone skin macro. Yeah. Which will eventually become Utsusemi-ni. Yep, and by the time that Utsusemi wears, like, the stone skin will go off. Oh, I'm running timers, am I? I've got a abrasion. Oh no, healing speed is reduced, but that's okay. So, I have to go take a look at my sandbox options. That's it. So, I guess that's weird. Maybe I have to go back out. Maybe I should quit and save my sandbox options in the 7 days go. Hey, he suicided. Yay. Good thing I got stone skin up, or it would have been way worse. Continue. Can we get the next? Play game. Start. Play game. And then sandbox options. I want you to. Create preset. No, wait. Go back to that. Oops, delete, duplicate, paste code. So, oops. So now, I think that's right, but let's just go see if it actually got it right. Oh, it did. Yep. So, okay, good. So now we go out. We quit this. And we go into the GeForce Now and we load this up. Okay, I'm gonna sit.
Generate their own light. Energy vampires get energy and light from taking it. They can't make their own, so they take it from other people by triggering them. Yeah, this is much better. It's way more quiet. So if you seem to always be experiencing provoking from people, those people are usually energy vampires, and it's because their energy is low, and whenever their energy is low, they go after other people and trigger them in order to increase
Like
their
the
energy
bullies in my
bank, right?
channel.
The way group energy vampires attack, because energy vampires can gather as a group as well, right? So the way group energy vampires kind of harvest off of one person or off of people with light who have vibrant light of their own. See, like the vibes, you see it, like you can see it, like there's a glow in certain people naturally. So the way energy vampires get that light, if they're a group of energy vampires, is they do humiliation rituals. So the group collectively targets the person with light, and they all, like at the same time, trigger that person, you know? And if you've ever been in a group of people, a group of energy vampires, you've experienced it before, right? And those who have experienced it know. Where it's like the whole group, all of a sudden, starts attacking you at the same time. And it's usually when you're vulnerable, when you're weak. And that's how some groups harvest off of one or two people. You know, they find a host, and they kind of are like, this is the person we're going to get energy from. Everybody attack this person. And so with energy preservation, if you want to preserve energy, you have to understand that, so that when it's happening,
really
right
good.
before it happens, you can see when it's happening. You have to be aware of this before it happens, so that when it does happen, you're prepared and you know what to do. Group attacks you, or if you see the signs of a group starting to attack you, what you have to do is not give in to it. It's very tempting, but you don't have to give in to it, because what's going to happen is when you give in to it, they're actually going to take more energy. They're going to keep triggering you. Especially if they find something that triggers you and they know that this isn't it, they're going to keep targeting that thing, and they're going to keep triggering you through that avenue. If you experience that, it's actually very scary, and I've experienced it multiple times. And I just called it bullying, right? Obviously, I was like, oh, I got bullied, blah, blah, blah. But it would always be groups of girls, just like basically strategically targeting me. And most of the times, these groups of girls would always pretend or seem friendly. And that's why I think these are energy vampires. They're coming at you for a purpose, and that is to literally take your life. Like, it's innate, you know? Some people don't even know what's happening. They're just in auto mode. They're coming to take your light. And sometimes they take your light and they get it for themselves, right? Because like I said, there are people who can generate energy naturally. There are people who heal and they recover and they glow and whatever. And there's other people who can't do that. So they take that from other people. And so they take that shine, that glow from other people by pushing them down, by stepping on them or using them, you know? Sometimes an energy vampire can use you for a good reputation. Let's say you're someone with a good reputation. Someone can come in and latch in and be your friend, and everywhere you go, because you have a good reputation, naturally that person will receive the same treatment. But if they were supposed to be separated from you, like if their energy was existing on its own, it wouldn't be able to access the life that you have, because that life is coming from your energy. The people that are attracted to you are attracted to you because of your energy, you know? Or the experiences you attract are coming to you because of your energy, because of the vibe you carry. Somebody else doesn't have that vibe, but they come into your energy and they can basically try to benefit off of what you get naturally by being around you, because they can't get those experiences on their own. So they have to latch on to somebody who can. Sometimes this is groups as well. A group of people can feel simultaneously that way. And they can target one person so that they can latch on to them and go where that specific person is supposed to go. When I was younger, I didn't care, you know, because it's my life, right? And it's my vibe. I didn't really care that I attracted certain things. It wasn't a big deal to me because I was me and that was my normal life, right? So I didn't even notice it. And so I had a blind side. That was my blind spot. Because when other people met me, they thought my life was fancier than it is, which it's not to me, but for them, they were fancy things that they could see. And so those people would usually befriend me, even if they dislike me, because they want those experiences for themselves, not even because they like me or they're interested in me. They don't care about me. They like what I got going on. They want that to themselves. Sometimes it's like if you're the type of girl that gets attractive men, some people are like that. If that's your gift, someone can see that and be like, I want your boyfriend. Or if you're the type of person that, I don't know, who gets really good friends, you make friends easily. You know, like everywhere you go, people just come to you and they're like, I want to be your friend. Somebody else can see that who sucks at making friends and be like, you're gonna get my friends, you know, and latch onto you. So everywhere you go, that person will kind of follow you around. They will follow you around. They will kind of be like your entourage, if I can say. They'll take information from you, they will ask you personal information. Even if you're careful. I was someone who was very careful. I don't trust people easily. But even if you're very careful, they can wait years. They can break you down over
level
time,
4
over
hammer.
decades. But they will hang around you and get information on you and ask questions underhandedly. So you don't even know you're telling your information, but you are, you know? So it's like you're giving up stuff about yourself, and that person is using that information for themselves to increase their agenda. So if they want to stick into your life more, maybe they can use that information to isolate you. If you say, oh, this and this is my problem, they can be like, ooh, let me trigger that button, let me press that button, that's the thing that's gonna work. The wings. If you're dealing with an energy vampire and you don't know, one thing you will realize is that they will always take something from you. You'll always lose things, even if it's not that they're taking them from you directly, like stealing your clothes. For some people it's like that, where like the energy vampires steal their clothes, like steal their shoes, like actually literally take the things that they have. But even if you're not experiencing that yet, because I feel like those are like late stage signs, early stage signs is you start losing things literally, like things go missing. Just the things you like start disappearing. Your like money or whatever starts disappearing. You can't keep things or hold on to things. It's like quicksand. That's how you know you have an energy vampire in your life and they're taking. Because before someone takes from you, like literally, like where they meet you in person and they take those experiences or friends or whatever, before it happens energetically. It happens in the energy. So for you to know what kind of energy is happening around you, you have to observe your environment. What's been happening recently? Have I been losing things? Have maybe men been acting weird? Usually men are nice to me. Now men are just like assholes from nowhere. Or usually I find it easy to make friends, and suddenly it's like you just start getting bad luck where you're like, this is not me, because I know myself, you know? Because maybe you've lived your life for 10, 20 years. You know what your life is like. You've been a kid, right? You've been a kid, you know, oh, since I was 10 years old, people came to me at the playground, and suddenly I don't have friends. I can't make friends anymore. It's because you have an energy vampire and they are taking from you. Mind you, even when you're drained like nothing left, they still will be trying to take things from you, by the way. They won't stop. They won't be like, you're really tired and sick and whatever. Let me not take this and let me not take that. No, even when you're completely drained of energy, they'll keep trying. So I was lucky. I was discarded. Because me being discarded actually allowed me time to recover the energy that I had lost during my relationships, where I had energy vampires all over my business. Like I was telling them everything. Like I did not know. I was unaware that people could come towards you with bad intentions, because for me, when I see something, like I am what I am, like, you know, like I won't tell you, hey, I want to be friends, and secretly mean I want to take your money, and I see you're rich and I saw that you had a yacht and your uncle has a yacht. I don't think like that. So for me, I go where, like, I feel what I feel, you know? So I didn't think other people could be like that, where they don't say how they're feeling. Like they feel how they feel, but they're not honest about it. Witnessing that has made me like realize something. Sometimes people's pets can be karmic. I kind of had a karmic pet, but anyway, that's another conversation for another day. But sometimes pets can be karmic. I'm not even kidding. My point is, humiliation rituals are meant to be overcome. So when group energy vampires attack you, and it happens every time when you're elevating, right? It happens when you're elevating. It happens when you're getting more energy, you're more confident, you're feeling good, you're glowing, you're happy, you have you're making more money. When life starts getting good, just like when you start getting trickles of like good fortune, they always lock in. That's when they lock in the most. And that's why you have to be the most careful when you're like in between transits. When you're in between changing from one, like going from like smaller, less to more, you have to be extra careful, because that's when a lot of energy vampires come in, and that's when humiliation rituals happen. If an energy vampire has known you for a while and they see that you're elevating to the next stage, that is when they will come in. That's when the humiliation rituals will happen. So they will try to embarrass you or humiliate you, or like just basically bring your energy back down to harvest it again. Because if you grow past a certain point of receiving energy, it means you will outgrow that group. You outgrow those people or the energy vampires or whatever. So that's the moment when humiliation rituals usually happen. So people will embarrass you, they'll shame you, and whatever it is. Like maybe they'll start making fun of you, saying, oh, look at this one. Like they'll target you, usually in public settings as well. If you're really like a standing out person, like usually they will try to drain that energy even in public, because it's harder to deal with like a big group of people attacking you at once, right? So that is when they will try and take your energy as a group. Yeah. What people don't realize is for some people, even just like associating with them, even just saying their name changes the vibe of a conversation, you know? So if you're someone with good energy, you're someone who, you know, it's like even having a conversation with you, even being your enemy, is a status that somebody wants to have. You're worth somebody hating, you know, like you're worth, like it makes me feel good that you can even be like, oh, I hate this person. You know, it means that they're even your enemy, like they're included in your life. There are so many people that are not supposed to be in your life, but if you don't know that, you're going to be inviting everybody. If you don't know that certain people are not supposed to be in your life, there's certain people that are not meant to experience, especially if you're a person that's blessed and who can generate your own energy. If you can generate your own energy, you're usually blessed a lot. If you're somebody who's blessed a lot, you, like, it's an honor even for someone for you to hate somebody. So it's like some people come in just to even be your enemy. If they can't make a seat, if there's no seat for like a parent or a friend or a best friend, it's taken, or a boyfriend. Some people come there just to cause hell so they can still, like, they can still be in your story, in your life. Some people are not supposed to be in your life. Some people aren't supposed to get good things. Some people are some people have bad karma. And if you're receiving good things, it's not everyone that's meant to have them. Because some people haven't earned that stuff. Some people have been awful people. Some people have not been following their morals. They haven't been working hard. They haven't been good to anybody. Like, and they just see you and they're like, I want that. I want to go on the trips too. I want to be in the content too, or whatever they think. So you have to protect yourself. You have to learn to protect yourself. So you're supposed to withhold your emotions when that happens. Just let it happen. Don't respond. They'll be triggering. They'll be pressing all the buttons you never knew were pressable. The buttons you never knew were pressable. That insecurity you had when you were 14, they're gonna find it. They're gonna figure out you have it, and you just have to let it happen. You have to let these people scream those things at you. Try to push those images on you, or those narratives, if I can say, on you. Just let it happen. Let it happen and stand in your power. And what happens is, when you stand through that, your identity becomes more solid, because as you react to that, your identity is watering down. Because maybe you're the person who loves to craft, and you dress well, and you, I don't know, you're a great community member, maybe, let's say, and then that happens. What's going to happen is when you respond to Lindsay, and when you respond to Kayla or whatever, it's going to be like, you're going to be like acting out of character. And then they're going to be like, that's your character. And that's how they'll create a new wound and keep taking energy from you. They'll keep attacking that. So you have to let it happen. You have to sit there and listen to all that and feel it. Feel it. As easy as it will be to respond, just feel it. And naturally, the world will give you whatever it is you need to get out of there, or the blessings you need, whatever. You have to sit through it. But when you respond, you actually get trapped in it. You get trapped in it, and that's how they keep harvesting. They keep bringing it up. It'll keep happening. They'll keep addressing it, because now it's a wound if you respond to it. And that's a gateway for them to stay in your life. That's a gateway for them to keep targeting you. So, boys and girls, what did we learn today? We learned that energy vampires can attack in groups, and we learned that they do humiliation rituals to harvest energy, and we learned that to protect ourselves.
Are you always on attack, or are you just living your life? That's my question about emotional vampires. Are you always on the attack to someone else, or are you living your own life to the fullest?
To protect ourselves, we have to not respond, and we have to wait. We have to wait for the chapter to end. We have to wait for that to fizzle out, because then your identity becomes more solid. And it would be hard for them to even push those agendas anymore, because it will become so obvious, and their words will become so false. It'll sound so fake compared to what you've got going on. So you just gotta let it happen. You just gotta let it. You just gotta let it happen. You just gotta let it happen. You're gonna get so much good fortune after, trust me. Even if you feel like, oh my god, I wanna react, it's a trap. It's a trap. You think it'll feel good, and then they'll just keep using that to get to you. It's a trap. Trap, don't fall for it. Like another trap is like, you know, they can get you to try and prove your innocence, especially if you're someone who's a good person and you know you're a good person. A trap for them to stick around in your life is they'll get you to try and convince everybody and tell everybody that are you actually good? Well, we saw you over here last week. What were you doing? Are you actually a good person? That's how they'll try and get you. And they'll harvest off of that energy. If you're responding, trying to prove you're a good person, wasting your energy, fighting for a cause that was made up just to drain your energy, you're gonna waste so much time. You're gonna waste so much time. They will be sucking your energy dry. Sucking your energy dry. You're over here, I never cheated. I never did this. I never got a boyfriend. I never. And you're arguing and they're eating that energy up. Where your energy goes, attention flows. Where your energy goes, attention flows. So you are out here giving people that don't deserve it all your attention because they triggered you on purpose. Because they know, they know you're a loyal partner. So they know if they say you cheated on me that you're gonna waste 50 years trying to convince them you didn't. Literally. They know you're a good friend, so they're gonna accuse you of being a shitty friend, so that you can keep trying to, no, I'm a good friend because I'll do this for you, and I'll give you this, and I'll give you this, and you're gonna waste so much time. And they're gonna be taking it, yeah, prove to me you're a good, yeah, oh, how else, how much more money can you give me, yeah. Literally. I had a parent like that. I had a parent like that. Will say, oh, you don't love me, just so that you can keep trying to prove you love them and giving things that you wouldn't normally give them because they're not a good person, but just because you're trying to prove that you do love them, you're gonna keep giving that energy, giving them money, giving them everything, attention, time, even if it's wasting yours. They attack you when you're about to go up, get more, you know, be lucky, enjoy the fruits of your labor. Because they're like, oh my god, give me some. Give me some. And with energy, they'll be like, give me some good energy, because they don't have it. Their energy's nasty, they're unhappy, they're mean, they complain about everything. And you're not like that, so they need your energy to feel good. Beware energy vamps. Okay guys, I am gonna, this is my video for today. I hope you could hear me because I was moving around a lot. There's a lot of wind and I couldn't hold the microphone in my hand facing my mouth. So.
I like her style. She's amazing. $233. I love the damage numbers. It really changes things for me. God, I wish Rust had damage numbers. don't want to. I don't want to. I don't know. This is still too strong. It's too fast. It needs to be turned down a little bit, like 4, 3. Yeah, that's much better. That's much more sane than what it was doing. Damn it. Why do they always move right as I fire? It's so annoying. See it? Hello? I am. I'll be right there. Bye. Okay, here we go.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to pay you now that you did it.
Oh, 10 Molotovs is actually good. I'll probably take that.
Let's make a pact. It's a deal. Disappoint me, and you'll find yourself on the wrong end of a rope.
Is it odd? I remember building over here or somewhere, but I guess not. That was a different thing? I don't know. Like, on the version I was playing, this is like a different save, I think. Yeah, this is not an offline save. This is an online save, yeah. And it's almost the same game. It's kind of funny. But anyway, so I'm going to exit out. I've got to go to family dinner. Sorry, guys, got delayed there, but we're ready now, so I will go do that, and I will be back. I'm just gonna pop my drones and go anomaly location. Warp fleets point within 0. Yep. We'll come back and finish this in a minute. Quit. There's so many. The games are getting better. They're fixing the games that are currently out. That is a valid strategy. Just make the games that are coming out much better, or that are already out. Excuse me. This system's so quiet. I'm gonna make so much goddamn money. Okay, guys, I gotta pause and go to family dinner. I'll be back. See you later. You've been watching Skycatlive, going about an hour here or something like that, a little bit-ish. And click on the cast space to donate. Come to the Twitch or the YouTube. Give me a like, sub, or a follow. Bye. Okay, here we go, guys. I'm gonna stop the music now. Take that, snooty magician. Fucking idiot. Sorry, Super Conalola. Sorry, buddy. Oh. Oh. Oh, 100. Oh. 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 What was that? Fuck was that? Oh, I'm sorry. Dear, I'm sorry. Sorry, buddy. What was that? Man, I suck. I keep missing everything. Wish I saw a car of some sort, but I don't. Or even boots or something. I feel like someone's gonna show up down that lane. Oh, I missed him. Almost got a shot on his ass though. Show your face. Oh, that was right next to me. What the fuck was that? Thank you. Now I have a crown. What was that? He'll come right back up the line again, won't he? Oh, almost got him. Oh. Sorry. I want his shit. Fuck that. Oh, almost hit him. Seven down, 5 up. What happened there? My fucking gun dropped. 9 down, 3 up. Wish me luck. Might get this one, but I don't know. We'll see. Nine down, 3 up. Wish me luck. I heard him land. Where the fuck is this guy? Where the fuck are these people? There he is. Got him! Yeah! Number 1, baby! Got him. Got 2 tonight. Let's go back and watch some YouTube now. Yeah.
Okay, what's up, friendos? Welcome back.
Hey, it's Akira. Hey, I won. Yeah, for winning. Yeah. Fuck yeah. BRB, I gotta pee. I'm so drunk. Okay, well, it's dinner time. Soon I will cook something. Okay, let's go win this Fortnite match.
It's been a while, right? It's been like 2
Kira,
months.
yeah, it's been 2 months, Kira.
Background behind me. I am in Canada currently.
Canada.
I've been in Canada for 5 or so weeks, and we'll
Wow.
be for a little while longer before we get back to regularly scheduled programming back in England. And I figured I'd record a video about this because why not? I do have the equipment here. I probably should have been recording videos, but didn't. And then the perfect topic popped up because this is Dreamworld. And this is a fan favorite topic from back in the day. And it's one of like 3 topics that people always ask me about. When are you going to go back and check on Dreamworld? Now that the game's released and is being developed actively, were you wrong when you said it was a scam? And all of these things. And my opinion has always basically been, if you ask people for money to develop a product and
you are a
baked into
scumbag.
the ask of when you're saying, you know, give me money for this thing, if you misrepresent your capabilities or you lie or you say things that is just patently untrue, you are essentially raising money based on falsehoods, right? Which
which is
the
true.
colloquial terms that we use to like let people know that something's wrong about this, scam is like the word that we use. Were they trying to steal people's money? Probably
No.
not. They were just trying to make a game while being, you know, overly ambitious, zealous, whatever word you want to use. I don't think they had any like super negative intentions. But again, they were saying shit that is just untrue. They were saying things like, this will be the last game you ever play, and it will have millions of players on one server, and it will have all these revolutionary things that big companies cannot do. You go play World of Warcraft today, you know, 20 plus years of when the game was developed. One of the biggest companies with the most tenure making an MMO. They can't even get like 100 people on screen in the world killing a world boss without the servers lagging like fuck. But we're supposed to believe that 2 random people, one of which had never worked on games and the other of which didn't have any coding experience at all, were going to just come in and get like a shoestring budget from people from Kickstarter and make server technology that otherwise doesn't exist by the biggest and best companies in the world. It's a lie. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Calling that out is pretty reasonable. And the whole Dreamworld saga was funny because the way that the developers, I guess, it was mostly one of them, reacted was to just ban people, talk a bunch of shit. They had like weird things where they had like actual children moderating their Discord server. There was a bunch of things. It was
Actual
just
children.
a cringe, fun period of time looking into Dreamworld. And then they continued developing the game. They, used a bunch of asset packs, and they made essentially what is just a big blob of stuff put together that some people enjoy, and you know, they definitely put work into the game. Kudos for that. But enough of the history lesson. The news here is that they've just closed down the game, but they've done so in typical Kickstarter fashion, in the most confusing manner possible. So you can see here, Dreamworld Sandbox no longer available on the Steam store. 7 whole people go mild. But when you look at the announcement, right, they were posting updates in March. There's not been a ton of updates on this, so obviously things were like sort of on the back burner. But the post about it closing is just so randomly like small, devoid of context or information, and just to the point. Dreamworld is being retired from Steam Early Access and removed from sale. The game relies on hosted online services, and those services are being shut down. As a result, online and server-dependent functionality will no longer be available. There are no in-game purchases, premium currency, or paid in-game items that require additional action from players. Now, if you read this, it reads as if somebody's gone through like the Steam rules and just got AI to draft like a what points do we need to hit that satisfies the rules for like closing down the game. Like, oh, there's no in-game purchases. The players would know this, so you wouldn't need to tell them. It just seems like there's like a checklist of stuff we have to say to close down the game efficiently, to not run afoul of any rules or whatever. At least that's what it looks like to me. I could be completely wrong, but it just reads as if they have just gone through a list and been like, okay, we need to say this, this, and this, and then we can close down the game and move on. And fair enough, right? You'd have thought they would have had a little bit more respect for a community that gave them money when there was no game. And a lot of people, I don't know if we use a lot of people, but because there isn't a lot of people that play Dreamworld, as you can see when the game released on Steam, like, you know, this is not a big fucking Steam release, is it? You know, it's almost beaten by Ship of Heroes, lol, Limpow. But you would have thought they would have had a little bit more care for telling their player base, like, yep, game's done. There is some other context, such as the game was sold on other platforms for years before this, so maybe there was more players, maybe it's more popular. I don't really give a fuck, to be honest. It's not really relevant. But the important thing here, save the best for last, I've been edging you, is that the people developing the game, the main guys, apparently there's some like weird shit going on, because this is what has been posted about the closure of the game. Zeal, by the way, if you don't know, I just had to check because I couldn't remember their names, but basically Zeal is Zachary Kaplan, right? And the other guy was Garrison Belloc, and he was called Grit, if I remember rightly, on Discord. So Zeal is Zach, and Zach was the one who like made the whole, in the initial pitch, he was like, you know, everything was going great, and then you know, the pandemic happened and I lost my job, and then my girlfriend left me, and it was like memed to death. And this guy had a history of you know, saying funny things and making silly businesses and things like that, such as the speaker, where he was running around in the street with like a speaker attached to his chest like he was Iron Man. And he was like, oh, you know, I used to run into traffic and cars would hit me because I'd have earphones in, which is like, you know, at that point it's not the earphones' fault if you can't navigate running on the streets without running into oncoming traffic. That's probably not the music's fault. The music's not making you do that. Wearing something on your chest and blaring the music out to people around you and annoying bystanders is not a solution for your fucking stupidity. But I digress. Zachary Kaplan is Zeal. Zeal is saying here, hey all, in being carefully factual, I'm aware that players are seeing issues with Dreamworld's availability, including the website and Steam access. Yes, the game has been removed from Steam. You can't buy it. You can't get a refund, as far as I'm aware, unless you're within the recent time, which most people are not going to be. He says, I did not request, direct, or support taking Dreamworld offline or making it unavailable. I also do not currently have administrative access or control over the affected systems. So he's lost control of the game. Bear in mind, at least in the context that I understand this whole situation, the only two people that would be at the level of like accessibility in terms of having the ability to take, Steam is very stringent in like who has access to it, right? I would guess it's only Gary and Zach, Zeal and Grit that have access to this. So if Zach's posting this, it could mean that there's been some kind of like fallout between the two of them, and he snaked the game and just turned it off, right? Because the game's clearly not making any money, and as I understood it from the very beginning, Zach was like the idea man, the dreamer, and Gary Belloc was the one who was like, he'd worked for Google, he'd like interned at Google or something and some other big tech companies, and he was sort of like the brains of like the coding and things like that. So it would make sense that he would have access to that stuff, and also probably the one that
No!
he would be the one.
What was that? That guy came in. I couldn't even reload before the next guy came. What the fuck was that? Fuck was that motherfucker? He came out of nowhere. And I still got away from him and you let him kill me. Fucking lame.
Complete speculation on my part, of course.
How many of those pieces of shit do I have to kill before you let me reload, you fucking piece of shit developer?
It doesn't make sense that it would just be a random third party that would have access
I'm
to
gonna
the
go get
ability
something
to
to
just
eat.
pull the
I'll be right
game
back.
off Steam. It makes no fucking sense. And also, if you look at the Discord, Gary's account is not posted in fucking months, basically. So that would also make sense. So he says he doesn't have access. I've asked for access to be restored, and I'm trying to understand what options may exist to restore or preserve access for existing purchasers if possible. Doesn't sound great. And also, who are you asking for access to be restored? Because presumably, I mean, you could look at this either way. Is he asking Steam? Is he asking whoever it was, which he's not mentioning, that pulled down the game on behalf of the company? As you know, I love Dreamworld. My goal is still to do what I can to preserve access for the community. I'd also ask people not to harass anyone. I'm keeping this constructive and factual, and I'll share updates when I have verified information. Again, points to like, maybe this is somebody in the Discord, aka, if you're using common sense, probably Gary. If you quote me, I'd appreciate you using the wording above directly so I don't accidentally create confusion while I'm still trying to verify what happened and what can be done next. So yeah, that's what we have. We don't know. Obviously, the subreddit, the MMO subreddit, has jumped on this immediately and been like, this would have failed regardless, whether it was a scam or not. It wasn't even really a game. It was like a bad tech demo. Yeah, I have heard from people that they did some cool stuff with the game in terms of like they had a bunch of game there. But obviously, it was just like, it's the same with anything. If you just go into building a game world and you just stitch together a bunch of stuff, then give people a bunch of tools, is it gonna really latch on and become popular? Probably not. But obviously we weren't assuming that it was gonna go on for like 5-6 years and then get to the point where there's some kind of like weird fallout and then the game just gets fucking pulled offline while one of the people are saying, actually, I want
That
the
guy,
game to remain.
he was up my fucking ass and I couldn't do anything. I had a jet rocket boot and I still couldn't get away from him. Because they're fucking aggro and they chase you and it's so annoying. I should just turn around and start shooting them as they come. And then disappear again. Nope. What the fuck was that? Yeah, what's up, you little bitch? Yep, I'm gonna fight you. What was that? I love the little sound effects of Fortnite. Such a little cool like game like that. What's that? Hopes Vision Stars Quest. Ooh, car. Thank you. Oh, get out. Get out. No, what was this? No. Fucking idiot. So dumb. Oh, what was that? I got in the fucking car. I got in the car. What was that? This guy landed on me. What the fuck was that? I got in the car. Come on. I didn't even have time. It was just show up dead. Come on, man. Fuck was that? My god, you suck. How did you kill me? Who did you run like a pussy? How did you kill me, you fucking idiot? Fucking idiot. Take me back to fucking lobby. I'm gonna go deal with my dinner. I'll be right back. Damn, there's a whole bunch of Parmesan in this fucking meal. All over it. All over the cheese will seal it in. Let that burn. Flip it. Let that burn. Flip it. There you go. Let it burn and flip it. Flip it. Let it burn. Flip it. This would be a great little meal. Corn and sausage. Were you aware that you can swap your pocket item at a vending machine? No. Submit. I had no idea. So I don't care about my pocket item.
It's very weird. The context is not really posted in
I've
here
got a pocket item for you, Epic.
about anything else going on. I don't think anyone went into the Discord and checked. I'm glad I did because I wanted to see
God
if there's
damn
any
it!
more
How did
information.
this guy get me? What the fuck?
But yeah, it seems like Dreamworld is, at least for now, dead. It was already kind of dead in terms of player base, but it seems like the game is not going to be on Steam. And interestingly, and also, who owns the game? Who has access to pull the game off when the like you can see here, people are speculating, was the game owned by two guys? Yes, Grit and Zeal. So we can make an assumption there that that's who's pulled the game off and they've had a falling out. And obviously if the main tech guy's gone, does it really even matter if you're like, oh yeah, I get access back and things like that? Service costs money, the game's probably not making any money, and also he was the one presumably doing the majority of the legwork in terms of like actually maintaining and developing the game. But yeah, in another episode of Who the Fuck Cares, because there was like one person playing the game at the end, that's the end of Dreamworld, and maybe a topic for an eventual Kickstarter to court if it does go down like this. Because
Well, I got 2 wins. I think that's good.
Who knows? There's clearly something deep beneath the surface. I'd love to know what it is and what's going on. And I will just say it's a shame, right? For the few people who enjoyed this, and if it is his dream game, and if people that gave money were happy with it, that's all that really matters. But at the same time, I stand by every single time. Kickstarting an MMO is stupid, especially when the pitch for the Kickstarter is, we're going to do all these revolutionary things. Who the fuck are you? Nobody knows. What have you ever done? Why would anybody believe you? And realistically, I mean, it was true. People gave them money. The things didn't happen. And here we are years later. The game didn't get finished. And whether it's a dwindling population or not, the rug has been pulled on this one. So while not delivering on the things that they said that they were going to do in terms of the game being the
I'm done with rug pulls. I don't give them money anymore.
Greatest, best.
I didn't even buy Oblivion Remaster until like the next couple of days. I wait on everything.
The biggest servers ever with millions of people, because millions of people were never going to play the game in the first place.
Nope.
That being said, thanks for watching. I'll try to record a few videos before I leave Canada if there's anything worth talking about. I know there's a bunch of stuff with the Ashes of Creation thing. I've been semi-following along. There's some crazy shit in that. I know I said I was going to cover it all, but I just fucking couldn't be bothered. When the updates were so incremental, but also requiring so much work to look into, I was just like, whatever with that. Obviously, Camelot Unchained released. That's a funny fucking topic. I might record a video about that later today. But yeah, thanks for watching as always, and hopefully you're all good, and I'll see you next time. Stay safe. We're out. Peace.
Okay, I think I'm just going to throw this in there. Okay, I'm going to have some ketchup on this wieners. Sausage and corn for dinner, bitch. Sausage and corn. Sausage and corn for dinner, bitch. Sausage and corn. Even more cheese, bitch. Even more. Yeah. Sausage and corn. Alright, I've got sausage and corn for dinner. Let's go find something else to watch besides Kira. Ben Shapiro destroyed his own career. Yes, we know. Why do you keep platforming him? You're with him, aren't you? I'm just kidding. I'm offline. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I just don't believe you. I don't believe you. I am DC. Wait, I'm DC'd? Wait, I'm DC'd. Why am I DC'd? Oh. Okay, stop this video and go.